Good morning. We'll start with the pledge of pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's do roll call. Director Armstrong.
Present.
Director Tchaikovsky.
Present.
Present. Director Smith. Director Turney. Yep.
Can I get a motion to approve the agenda? It's moved by, I think, Bob.
Yes.
Yeah.
One.
Bob Swan, and second by
Need to call.
oh yeah. Call for the vote. In favor?
Aye.
Okay. That passed. Okay, public comment. Members of the public are appreciated for taking the time to attend this meeting and provide comments on matters of the district's business. Public comments are subject to 3-minute time limit, 10 minutes on an individual topic. Although no action can be taken on items not listed, please know you are carefully. Are there any comments?
You need me to stand?
If you would.
Okay. Okay. Good morning. This is for the record. Ralph, I know most of you, except our new director, I don't think you have had Brown Act training. I think the other 4 have. The Ralph M. Brown Act requires for all agenda items for regular meetings to be made available 72 hours in advance to the public. The district needs to continue this item, which is 4E. You did not provide backup material for today's agenda item 4E. The Brown Act requires this item to be postponed for 72 hours so the public can review this. This is about the changes in the engineer's report that didn't come out I called Monday for changes. They weren't available. They came last night, but still there are other people that would like a chance to review it. And it's not just like on a page like the old language and the new language. You got to go through the whole report to find it. And that's time consuming because it's like 80 pages to go through. It really is. And I read it first time. I got to have time to read it again. And my neighbors came over and they were furious about it when they found out. So if you could postpone that one item, just that one item, people have a chance to review it. That would be really great. Thank you.
I was that case.
Which
the changes to the engineers.
Item is that?
4E.
No, this is public comment. We don't.
I'm sorry.
Right now.
Sorry.
Need a request to discuss that.
Gotcha.
Any other public comments? Go ahead.
Last time I saw the board president, he was for the board of supervisors. Money, telling abject lies about me. I'm going to tell the truth about him today. He's censored by the board of directors of GCSD, swearing at the board secretary, Jennifer Flores. Bob Swan, you knew that. Bob Swan knew that and still voted in favor of this derelict being president of the board of directors. This disgraced human being who swore at the board secretary in an outraged temperament. There you go. You put him in there as board president. Congratulations. been studying a lot of history lately. Oh, by the way, Pete Campa was fired by the Tuolumne Utility District for not controlling costs. I knew board members there at the time. I was board member of GCSD. Knew exactly why he was fired. Spoke with him, Pete Campa, many times on the phone. Maybe he remembers. I stopped talking to him because he had no conscientiousness about controlling costs, employees. Now we have the biggest assessment on taxes ever put before anyone in any community. And look at it's no coincidence the cast of characters we have here. So we're going to have more firemen sitting at the fire station doing basically nothing. There's one call a day on average. Being paid enormous sums, somewhere between $150,000 and $200,000 a year, basically do nothing. While guys like me, twice their age or more, out there actually doing something productive for our community. There's no community in the world other than this wretched country that would take their most able-bodied men and make monks out of them in a monastery or nothing. Congratulations, you disgraceful people.
Thank you. Okay. Any other public comments? Okay, we'll move on. We're going to go to information items. And we have staff reports. Let's go with the fire department first.
Good morning. Fire apparatus engineers, Nathan Sonke, Station 78. For the month of April, Engine 781 ran a total of 39 calls, 29 of those being medical aids. We ran 2 vegetation fires, 2 other type of fires, 3 traffic collisions, 4 public service and other expeditions. We had 2 auto aids in Walnut County in the month of April. Engine 631 ran 26 calls in April. They had 4 auto aids GCSD. 12 of those were medical aids. They had 4 vegetation fires, 4 traffic collisions, and some other fellows. If you look at the graph, we are on about trend for the past years of the calls we ran in the month of April, a little higher than last year by 8 calls. Significant events we've had. On the 12th of April, we had the school incident, traffic collision. We had a 3-car vehicle accident in front of Tenaya Elementary. There were cars had minor damages and no injuries. Patients were evaluated by Medic 41, and traffic control was set up until the road could be. On the 19th, we had the grade incident. 781, engine 631, and CAL FIRE engine 4486 responded to the grade incident on Friday the 20th on the new grade. They had a vehicle over the embankment with 2 patients 200 feet down the hill. Engine 781 set up a low angle rope system using their brand new rope equipment to lower rescues to the patient for medical evaluations, patient packaging, and to get them off the hill where they were transported to hospitals for further evaluation. On the 19th, we also had the Grizzly incident. 781 and engine 631 responded to the Grizzly incident. There was a single vehicle accident that was non-injury. And the traffic control was set up and the road till the road could be cleared. Apparatus status. Everything is in service. Well, 781 is actually out of service starting today, hopefully for a short time just to get some routine maintenance done to it. So we are currently on engine 787, but hopefully be back on 781 shortly. For station training, for the month of April, we worked on wildland training to ensure our skills are up to par with the upcoming wildland season. We worked on hose lays and mobile attack and other wildland scenarios. Fire department news, updated equipment. Engine 781 received new ropes and software for our rope rescue equipment. The old stuff expired at the 10-year service interval, and we replaced it so all the gear remains current, reliable, and ready for deployment. On April 18th, we had an open house at GCSD Station 78 to give the community a member to check out the station and the apparatus and equipment we have there. I would like to thank everyone who showed up and hanging out, having a great time with us. In other news, burn permits are now required starting May 1st. You can get those free online, but just remember that you need to have a burn permit if you're going to start burning your piles after May 1st. Thank you.
One question.
But
If I got a burn permit at the beginning of the season, is that still good or?
it should be. I don't know the exact date, but they're good for, I believe, a year from the date is the shortest I've heard, and they used to be, I think, like 3 years, but I think they've shortened that to a year. You should be good, but tell them check it out. It should say when it expires. So, thank you.
Awesome. Appreciate you guys. Okay. Yes. Sorry.
That's right. I just commenting on the sport and all the things you do. I think you know that we're honored, and form a function that I could never do because you guys, you give it your all, you give it your life. And you may not be moving, you may not be fighting a fire every minute of every day. You not be dealing with a medical issue every minute. But when you do, professional, fast, it's competent, very much appreciated.
You.
Add to that comment, firefighter didn't just lay across the station all day long. We trained, we did. Pereira would be very happy. Awesome.
Still haven't answered your question. The fire permits happen to happen or December 31st of the year that they were given.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Any other comments from the board or anybody? Yes.
So just to echo onto that, you can't put a per capita cost per call onto it and assign to say that, say you run one call a year, well, that call was $2 million. Fire department response is policy for everyone. It might not be the busiest, engines in the county or in the state, but they're well trained, they're able to respond, and they do so in a time professional capacity.
They do.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask the fire department a question? Yes.
Sure.
No? Yes, okay. You tell me, am I correct that at Merrill Road Station is 24/7 all year round for one engine and the second engine is there for 7 months during fire season? Is that correct or not?
No, not necessarily. So that's a 2-engine response model to serve the state responsibility area and affect wildland fire control on the state responsibility ground. So their mission is separate of that of GCSD and separate of mission of the Forest Service. They maintain their lands, the state maintains the state responsibility area. They are allowed to supplement the GCSD and county fire response. They are not allowed to supplant.
Right, so if GCSD is up at Evergreen and we need an engine, they can fill.
If they are there, they will respond. If they're not there, there's a countywide auto aid agreement that will send the most appropriate, closest resource to the call type.
Thank you.
It could mean that that engine could be coming from Jamestown now.
Okay,
So as long as we recognize that, someone will come eventually.
thank you.
Sure.
Staffed year round.
No, it is not staffed year round. Thank you, Pete.
There's no one there year round. Well, what is the staffing there? You tell me.
It's dependent on the fuel, weather conditions, the budgeted allotment from the state, and then how we move our equipment around. Where's the priority at the time during fuel reduction season?
So
et
it
cetera.
varies.
It does vary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on. Cert. Asquith. How you doing?
So far, so good. Morning, Bob Asquith, Provost Cert. Just on a personal note first, thank you guys. I'm with you. I think all of the stuff that gets said and so forth forgets that you guys are there for us, you need it or not. And it's okay in the not part because you'll be there when we need you. So thank you. On to Cert. We've been holding our monthly meetings. Most of us have been there. Just teasing him. We will be co-hosting 2 workshops. I think I put this on everybody's desk. Hosting 2 workshops. Yep. Wildfire preparedness workshops. Number of agencies will be there, speaking to how you can be prepared for wildfires. The keynote of the whole business is CAL FIRE. Talking about home hardening, 4291, zone 0, 1, 2, 3, 5. The good news is that over the last 3 years when we've been holding these, and this is CERT co-hosting it with the safety committee at Pine Mountain Lake, we've had about 350 people go through those workshops. Bad news is there's about 5,000 people that live here. So, one step at a time. Let's see, we still, Bob Swan, we're still waiting for TCOES to give us the training on the telephone calls. And I suspect with the change of the OES director, that may take another week or 2. What the subject here is that during a county emergency, they run a whole bank of phone lines for people to call in, and CERT makes a good group to be able to operate that. We just need some training. We continue to support the GMRS radios and recommend that everybody get a GMRS radio so that they can hear what happens when our communications go down. Notice I didn't say if. So right now we still have 1 backhaul out of here, which handles all of the internet, landline, and cell service. And when that goes down, we're left with the only 2 communication modes for GMRS radio and using VoIP over Starlink. We've got 30 people that are regularly coming to meetings and training. We've had our traffic management with the CHP. We had virtually everybody complete that. On the docket to come is helicopter landing zone training with PHI helicopter. And also we have now our chief medical officer for our CERT chapter is back in town. And so we'll be doing firefighter rehab. Have the training for that hopefully in June, and then per the suggestion of Mario, Battalion Chief Mario, we're going to have a full-on drill. And the important part, last time we tried this, there was a missing piece, communication link from the CAL FIRE Emergency Operations Center or switchboard anyway, on down to CERT. So we've completed that link now, so we should be able to do that. So that'll be coming up here. Any questions?
What supplies does CERT give to GCSD that it has in the budget $10,000?
We don't give supplies to GCSD.
Well, it's in the budget, CERT $10,000. I saw it.
We need supplies. For example, firefighter rehab, we have expendable supplies. We have to supply our ambulance. We have a recommissioned ambulance, service that.
Is that what that $10,000 is in the budget? Should be asking you that. She's going through this.
Yeah.
It'll be in the discussion of the budget.
Okay, and for all your people volunteers or some staff members?
All volunteers,
You're all volunteers?
volunteers.
Thank you.
We're all good people.
Thank you.
We like the firefighters. Any other questions?
Yes. When are you having another CPR class?
That won't be for the last one. We have a minimum of 20 people. All 9 signed up.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Bob. You guys are awesome. Appreciate what you, so. And that firefighter rehab is very, very important. To be. Thanks. Okay. Guess we'll go down to patients. Delete.
Morning.
Hiding back there.
He is here.
That's how.
Morning. I will keep this thing short. The agenda you guys got in front of you. Water side of stuff, we had 4 water leaks, 2 main, 2 service lines. And actually, one of the service lines and main leaks happened on the same day at the same time. So that was a pretty interesting moment for the guys there on a Friday afternoon as well. Wastewater side, pretty routine stuff, just cleaning lift stations, routine flushing of our out around the area. Projects, distribution projects, the only one that's really kind of active still as of right now. It has been completed. New line is in service. The only thing left is for pavement to be done. And that kind of got pushed out due to the Caltrans project happening below Myers Park. It was too close to our work zone and their work zone, so our fit control wouldn't have worked very well. So that's pushed out till next Tuesday, as long as that other project, if not, it'll be a little bit long. And it's for them to come in and grind the trench line, we pave it the same. That's the only project that's really active. The well project is what's completed. We're waiting for a flow meter, which was back ordered. And pipeline's been done for some time. AWS, same thing, it's done. The punch list items have been completed. And the AWS pipeline portion of that is there's still a couple items left on that, but it is completed as well. Everything's in service and it's great. It is working.
Back ordered is back ordered flow.
They've been fighting with this company
They have
for a
no
while.
idea.
It's probably setting this month. The words from the manufacturer. Manufacturer kind of has been given the contractor a runaround on that. Communication back and forth, emails kind of stopped. And what happened was they sent the wrong. There's 2 components to a flow meter. There's the head that communicates to our PLC program. Then there's the actual device itself. They sent the wrong size meter to go with the head. So we're waiting for it to get resent to us on it. We're hoping this month. That's the only thing, and then we can actually put the well and test it. Sir, we can run the pump and everything as of right now, but we just can't do flow and calculations and stuff on our.
Oh, I understand. We don't know.
We don't know, but as of the contractor states, it's supposed to be this month. So I'm hoping within a couple of weeks.
Contractor?
Nearich and Sons. So, other than that, all the projects are finally wrapping up and everything in front. AWS being in its new location was pretty seamless for us running it this year. And fortunate for all the stuff that we've done and how it's worked out.
Extension in Big Oak Flat.
That's actually this project that's just got wrapped up for the most part. The final touches of that. So now both 8-inch mains are tied into each other. Right? It's a little bit more water to that area. And the state on what kind of fire flow there is, because I don't know yet. We have to test on that, but it's definitely got 2 8-inch mains coming together, supplying some 4-inch laterals here and there. So
it's definitely increased from the 6 inch. I have 1 6 inch, now we have 2 8. It's definitely better.
Big old flat can breathe a sigh of
Yes.
That's
All the hard work of you guys and Pete management to get these grants and help us, and see the vision of what we really need to do.
what happens when we all work together.
Yeah.
Awesome. Any comments from the board?
How was your Disneyland trip? Did
Disneyland.
you go to Disneyland on vacation?
No.
Oh.
Oh, Arizona. About 2,600 miles on my bike, so
Oh my gosh.
It's a long way on a bike, isn't it?
it was fun though. Yeah. A lot of paddling. What's that?
Still waiting on PG&E.
Oh, yes.
Power drop.
Forgot about that portion of it. Apologize on that. Yes.
Still generators.
We've kind of turned the generator off. It was costing way too much in fuel. Is it good for that trailer and the equipment to be in this kind of heat that's going to be coming up? No. So we will have to probably run the generator a little bit longer, but it was the transformer. They wouldn't use our old existing one that we had that would have worked. Had to be new equipment for PG&E, and that equipment went back ordered, and they're saying it should be here June 15th. And I haven't got word if that means they'll be here to install it on June 15th or if the equipment is supposed to be here on June. So no waiting for that. But yes, it's just on generator as well.
Wow. So they wouldn't let you use the equipment there that would work.
Now it was, I guess, too old of a transformer, and they needed to put new equipment in there. So, but everything's ready for it. Everything's there. Everything's been done. It just needs to be set by PG&E with the new pole and power rack to it, and then we'll be ready.
Thank you.
Sorry about that.
Can I ask, Louis, are you the generators that you're using now running constantly? Or
They were during the operation of that plant. They
Right.
had to, because you can't shut it down. It's just not good on the equipment.
did you get a deal on the fuel?
I guess you can call it a deal, but it ran a lot of fuel. So I'm not gonna lie. So, working with the fuel company, we had rented I don't know what you call it, like a side tank, external tank. That way we didn't have to keep filling that generator very often. We can do it right.
Oh, so it ran off that when it,
We got to print that. They gave that to us for free,
Okay.
because we bought fuel from it. So that saved us right there $2,000 a month, just having that. So, but it's still expensive.
did you have to give the generator back?
Generator's ours.
It's ours, it's our
Yes.
generator. Okay, the side generator, that's ours too.
No,
It's theirs. Okay,
no, side tank. Side tank.
tank,
The
okay.
external tank is what we had
okay.
of fuel, just for us to transfer fuel into the generators that have them deliver every day.
Just you're not sending someone out all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Louis. Awesome. Administrative Services Manager.
So good morning, everybody. The majority of the admin department's efforts have been focused on the special benefit assessment informational materials associated with the ballots mailed on May 7th. This included review and edits to the notice, ballot and return envelopes, and continued updates to the district's website to ensure property owners have access to the information needed to make informed decisions when casting their ballots. In addition, I have been working on the presentation for tomorrow's meeting, and I look forward to a good community turnout, especially now since people have started to receive their ballots. Andrea Lawrence and Jen Alsweed attended the Empower Laserfish conference at the end of April, participating in labs and lectures focused on records management and repository development. The information and networking opportunities gained will assist with continued development of the district's long-term records management plan. The district continues making strong progress with the repository development. To date, nearly 2,400 physical maps have been scanned and imported into the system with templates and metadata. applied and linked to the appropriate folders. In addition, metadata was reviewed and added to approximately 4,100 digital maps already in the repository, bringing the total number of maps reviewed and organized to roughly 6,500. At this point, we think it's about approximately 85% of the district's physical maps have been digitized. Moving to the workflows of the Laserfish software. The current workflows now live on the district website include the dog park application, Mary Labroni Park application, and banner application. And then workflows that are currently pretty much final, but in final review are the ACH form, update contact form, new customer form, rental property service application, property owner consent and responsibility form, and the leak adjustment request form is currently in progress for flow. Michelle has been having, this is the best time of year for her, next to the getting ready for the audit. She's been working extensively on the development of the fiscal 2026-27 budget, and an internal budget review meeting is scheduled for next Thursday. ClearGov, the budgeting software that we have, recently merged with another company called Gravity, and the financial reporting has been moved over to that platform. So Michelle is currently transitioning financial reporting functions into Gravity. She has been working weekly with their implementation team to establish the coding, programming, and reporting necessary for the district's annual financial statements and quarterly financial reporting. Significant progress. She's already made significant progress, including setup of GL code rules and for the enterprise funds with government funds configuration scheduled for next week. So it's the budgeting is still all done in the ClearGov platform, but like the financial statements for the audit are now moving over to this Gravity software. So that was a nice surprise for Michelle right during budgeting development that she's been working on. So yeah, and then lastly, the district finalized and released the upcoming movies in the park series with the first showing scheduled for May 23rd.
Oh.
Yeah, that's my report. Questions?
When ClearGov merged with Gravity, the financial reporting portions of Gov became obsolete, had to replace them.
They're trying to move their current ClearGov customers over to Gravity for the financial reporting. They say I was working on getting into the ClearGov, but they're saying Gravity has more functions and features. And so everyone has to move. And since we were still in our beginning stages and not established as well as other customers, they insisted that I move over to Gravity. So we're setting everything up in there. So I'm working on the training and just getting all the GLs linked to the correct
They
reporting.
had to set up ClearGov and now you have to set up Gravity.
Yes.
Well, did you set up
In financial reporting,
I just want to make sure I
well,
understand.
so budgeting was set up. So they had all of our GLs, codes and categories and whatnot. Financial reporting, we were just in the beginning stages of it. So they took all that data and like transferred that in what we had done, but it's just a new platform. And everyone on ClearGov is going to be eventually moved to Gravity.
she hadn't got, she just, this is gonna be her first year pretty much independent. We're gonna have Gilbert still assisting with the audited financial statements, but Michelle is taking that on and she had just started to work into that essential module within ClearGov before moving over. So there wasn't a ton of work invested in getting that set up in ClearGov and now moving over. That's kind of what your question was.
Kind of. I mean, it's kind of, I mean, it's just one of those things that happens when there's a corporate merger, something. Service that you're just trying to figure out how much extra work is created. I mean, you can do it. I just want to, I'm just.
Yeah, so I have to commit about, right now for the next 6 weeks, about 3 to 4 hours of my time to get it set up so that it'll be done in time for our audit. They're hoping to have it done by June.
4 hours or 3 to 4 hours a week?
3 to 4 hours a week for the next 6 weeks of my just time. And then there'll be some training and they have a lot of training online so I can, watch videos, but I have a team of 3 people assigned just to us to get us set up, make sure it's accurate, ready.
A lot. We've moved to a certain platform and then they merge and that has happened. Probably drive me nuts. There's a lot of it.
Seems,
Back to the movies, since it's the beginning of it. We're gonna be going to Costco this weekend. If you guys have any inventory that you normally get at Costco, let me know.
I always appreciate all the help and the donations and what you contribute to Movies in the Park, because it really does help a lot, and we very much.
Just let me know if you get anything. So.
any other comments from the board? Any comments from public? Bob?
The question, how often does GCSD have a site audit?
Once a year. So we close the books. We're a fiscal year. We go from July 1st through June 30th. Takes about a month to get all the invoices in, coded, and then get everything reconciled. And then the audit usually starts September to October. So yearly, annually.
They're all available on the website for at least the last 5 years.
Still using the same auditing firm every year?
So we use, yes. Jolly.
For like 10 years or 15?
But they switch auditors because you can only have the same auditor for so many years. And so it
It's like
switches.
a company and they just rotate, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Anybody else? Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Michelle. Jennifer, all right.
Audits have all been on time.
Yes,
And
all clean. Oh, should be proud of. Very good. All right. Tampa.
I submitted a written report. I thought that I think that's really interesting, and special districts struggle with this throughout the state and throughout the country, is a lack of understanding of who we are. And I've been in this business my second career, most of my adult life. Statements made were incorrect about the reason for the termination. It was that there's a lot more than that, and it's the only time that I've ever experienced that. But I was glad to end that relationship and now look back and see them doing the same projects now and just all of the same things that I was dealing with in 2013 when the relationship ended are now happening 23 years or 13 years later. So that's what happens is you have this backslide when you have controversy and changes in management, blah, blah, blah. It was not a spending issue, and to keep the district from, being in court. Managers have to sacrifice to do it on behalf of the employees and the community. But there seems to be a misunderstanding of GCSD, and I think maybe this needs to be an agenda item topic, just for information purposes and everything else. But we're not an ogre that sits there asking for money. Give GCSD money. That's not it. We are government that is closest to the people. We provide services, and that's our entire mission. And we do it well. Plan in advance, and that's where we are. If you look at our history, we were formed by the voters in 1953 for the purpose of solving a problem and looking toward the future, and that's what we've done continuously. There was not a water supply in Groveland. GCSD was formed, created a water supply. There was not a sewer system. Sewage was going to the creek. Garrody Creek was the lucky tributary of that sewage, and that was solved by GCSD. GCSD came in, got the money, made it happen, built the sewer system, built the water system. In the 60s and 70s, when Pine Mountain Lake was proposed, Pine Mountain Lake would not be here if GCSD were not here. If GCSD were not here, Pine Mountain Lake came in first. They would have had to have formed a special district to provide the services. They could not have built the way that they did without having those services dedicated. And we participated in public financing of the infrastructure for Pine Mountain Lake. completed that, not only that, but also then secured a Hetch Hetchy water supply. Make sure that there's reliable water for existing customers, both Pine Mountain Lake. Built treatment plants, got those all funded and up and running. And this didn't come because somebody forced pressure. It was because this district had a vision, provide services for the future, and plan for that in the future. Long-term agreement with the city and county of San Francisco for a long-term water supply. Very, very important stuff. Then when Pine Mountain Lake was growing, there was a need for an established fire department. You know, people operating in vehicles out of barns and sheds and here and there. And so in the 1970s, the district came forward and built the fire station. That's the fire station that exists today. As we continued to see increases in calls and complexity of the emergency needs, that station was then staffed. Went from all volunteer to mixed, partially paid to fully paid, plus volunteers and reserves to fund that station. That was a GCSD action, build that station, staff that fire department based on the need. In the early 2000s, the fire department, obviously seeing the future and the fact that the cost to provide the service and the number of volunteers was decreasing, the cost to provide the service was increasing, proposed an assessment that was approved. And that assessment lasted for a period of 10 years, but that's what kept the fire department functioning well during that period of time. And that was, again, it was an action of GCSD to propose that, plan for that, likely took the hits for it, each and every year as that was going forward, but funded the fire department to get it to where it is. 2010 to 25, invested in water supply reliability and wastewater also. When we heard about the Hetch Hetchy tunnel shutdown plan, what did the district do? Being forced, without pounding their fist, we went out, got the money, purchased portable treatment plants, and were prepared when that tunnel shutdown happened. Staffed appropriately, had everything in place to make sure that happened, all engineering and clearances to get that done. Got that done so that we have backup water supply. If you look down the road at TUD, a planned project that I was working on, it was part of the controversy, was we had grant money to pay for half of the cost to replace that flume.
Yeah, okay. Just had a big problem.
We had grant money to do it, but because there were board members that said, no way are we going to take on debt. It's PG&E's responsibility. We're not spending the money. We had to give the grant back. And what happened now? Now it's a big issue. It's all over campaign. We're going to fix the flume. Flume could have been fixed. It was there, ready to go, planned. So anyway, those things, that's just what happens with time. But we planned for it here. Not only did we do that, but we also developed a separate water supply for Big Oak Flat with a groundwater well and a tank. We've now connected them with water mains to give them fire flow and make sure they have a reliable supply. If we have long-term drought, Hetch Hetchy goes down, shut it off, Big Oak Flat stays in water. Minor Martin has all the water they need during the time that maybe Pine Mountain Lake is out, because that groundwater goes and to supply that, at least keep partial system charged. We also worked, so we've increased the number of fire hydrants, we've improved the fire flow. We worked for 5 solid years with the county staff, county administration, county board of supervisors, in recognition of the demand on our services to get an engine located here or funding for an engine to be able to respond to out of area calls. And they did that. We have that on the agenda today, but that would not have happened on its own. It didn't happen for decades. There were continuous developments of resorts. We had to come to the table and work to get that. And now we've got a relationship. But there was, GCSD pushing that forward. The Now we've developed a 15-year plan. We did this with water and wastewater recently, a year ago. We the long-term financial plan to make sure that the rates cover the cost of the long term, so that future increases, because they're always going to increase, be stabilized, and that we could build a portion of our capital improvement plan, things that we know we're going to break, and we're doing that. We're going to continue to produce. The same goes with fire. It's an easy prediction. We can't turn our back on it. We can't say it's never going to happen. We can't say the state's going to give us money, or the county's going to give us money, or the federal government's going to give us money. We have to plan. If we want to provide the service, we have to plan financially to do that. Find a plan, talked about the plan. We've turned over the stones to try to get money from others. It's not a reliable way to operate, to beg and borrow and guess that somebody else can give you money. We've come up with a financial plan, and a small portion of very vocal people look on that as a grab for money. We're lining our pockets. If staff would just take pay cuts, we could fund a fire. Staff has nothing to do with the cost of fire service. It's the cost of the CAL FIRE contract, equipment replacement, and operations. Period. It's extremely important to understand. All we're doing is planning for the future. We put it out to the voters. They vote no, we'll have to make an alternate plan. That's just the way it is. So bottom line is, GCSD's always been there. The goal is for us to always be there. We have to plan financially for the future. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of background and discussion. People say, why are you asking for more money? We're just planning for the future. That's all we're doing. We've always done the same thing. So on to my report. Actually, that was kind of it. I have the written report. We're working a lot with the special districts in the county to try to come up with a way we can help the county of Tuolumne with permit streamlining. Reality in state legislation. It's a reality in our everyday lives to make sure that districts aren't an impediment to the county and are at the table in the beginning to sit down and talk about projects and to plan for the future to make sure that a huge cost burden is not put on the projects, and that we can plan long term, and that we all know what our special district support and that's moving forward for more consideration by our court. Again, I won't get into the fire emergency response services assessment. Jen talked a lot about that. That's been a very important part of our day. Alice training. I do want to commend CERT, the Tuolumne County Sheriff's Department. They provided an awesome training. I've always wanted to go to this. I didn't know it existed. And hopefully everyone knows what Alice stands for. But I'll tell you, it's active shooter training basically, but the Alice acronym is alert, lockdown, inform, counter, and evacuate. Of course, that sounds simple, but the Sheriff's Department did a phenomenal job in that training of engaging everyone in the room, with discussion and everything about how to be prepared in that type of a situation, and we'll continue that training.
Excuse me. In the process now of scheduling several more of those, opening up to the wider.
That's great. It really is. It's not just a GCSD, but we could have somebody really upset. Somebody really upset today. That may not be very stable, and President Gifford can understand. I'm sure been faced with that stuff continuously throughout his career. It's a very scary thing. It's a very real thing that I think we need to think about and be prepared for our environment. But then it can happen anywhere. If you truly suggest, if anybody wants to understand how this works, it's well worth the time. A lot of CSDA activity, and I've listed that all in my We've got, in an hour, we're gonna have emergency alert testing. So if we hear the siren go off, which we will. Don't be afraid. It's normal. Your phones are all gonna buzz and everything else around that bridge. So, there's an interesting, collaborative that has formed. It's called CalRec. It will be on your agenda sometime when the smoke clears a little bit. But CalRec is a collaborative that's worked on the other side of the block, one of New County area, and very successful in gaining collaboration with big groups and federal state agencies to integrate fire protection trail systems together. It's been successful enough that it's been included in statewide planning efforts. And so we'll learn more about that and see if there are opportunities for us, because it would help tap into both fire prevention awareness funds, also public trails. So the legislative committee, I still provide for you about it, but a lot of it is the two main themes are permit streamlining, helping that California housing crisis, and mandates basically on cities and counties that are also going to impact special districts on response to planning applications and housing development applications in a more rapid manner, and then also making sure we establish fee structures in advance and conditions for development. And so that's going to really force the relationship between the county and the district to make sure that we have that, so that it's included in the county planning process and in their conditions for development. That has to be done early on. Done.
Questions from the board? Comments?
Just gonna say, just thank you.
I gotta say, I've been on this board a while. Comments too. Say absolute certainty. That's ECSD. Say some job Pete. Everybody, CSD. Let's make our job easier. Good. I've had a lot of people comment to me. Store, boy, you guys are really doing appreciate you. These losses are.
So like we're on the tree and on the board and good things happen.
Any comments from the people here? Okay, with that said, we will move on. Let's see here. Oh. Proclamations. And proclamation Peter. 7 years of student Groveland community services.
Actually, you don't have to apply for 7 years.
Yeah.
Actually, been a little bit longer than that. There was a year before that.
Right.
That's right.
But it only works because of some function, and I can't imagine that being. I've heard stories about board and total, like, we have grand jury stuff, but and I'll tell you, actually invested time in the training, the leadership training, and developing a team has been probably one of the biggest successes of my career. Yes. Allows us to function at a high level. I'm honored to be part of the team. Imagine life without it. I love to retire, but imagine being around these kids all day.
Yeah, when they all dressed up like you.
Priceless.
Who is the real Peter Campa? Anyway, yeah. Been an awesome general manager, best that I've seen. I've been
I just want to say, just from staff perspective, love Pete. Really runs himself in the ground. I've never, before Pete came on, we were just doing status quo. The bills were coming in, they were coming in, they were getting paid, people were getting a paycheck. That was about it, it was just being maintained. There was no like forward thinking and planning and grant, all of this stuff. And I will say, I love it. It's very rewarding. He's exhausting because every time we're doing something, it's like, oh, let's look at this new grant. Just can somebody look into this? Like, Pete, do you really forget all the other millions of things that we've already no, I can't. Oh, and then you do, and it's a lot of work. And but when you see we're getting to this point, like the reports, like all of the capital infrastructure stuff that has been done, and the fire flow to Big Oak Flat, and the fact that essentially what happened to TUD is not going to happen to GCSD because we have done so much planning, and you have a beautiful park. There's just so many things that are a lot different, and in that 7 or 8 years is really insane when you think about it. And you look at the millions of dollars. And he's really just pushed everybody. I know I've grown a lot. I've seen Louis grown a lot. I've seen everybody else grow a lot. And it's nice. It's nice to be under good leadership and be challenged and be appreciated at the same time. So
definitely. Any other comments? Any comments from the public? Thank you, Pete. Really appreciate it. Now, move to recognition of Megan Atkins, 7 years of service.
Seems impossible, doesn't it?
Awesome. I can't believe it's been years. We get to see your smiling face.
Wow.
It's awesome.
Time flies.
You were just a kid.
Yes. Now I have to color my gray hair.
And you're married.
Yeah. Big changes.
Awesome.
And excellent customer service.
yeah, Megan is like we said, she's been a huge asset, invaluable in the administration. She's also somebody who's grown significantly. It's her time coming on in the district. She is extremely reliable. She is one of the most reliable people I have ever come across in my life. Like, she will be there. If she can't be there, she's going to rearrange something if she knows she should be there. And that, as a manager, it's a lot of stress that can be taken off your shoulders when you know there's somebody else that's going to step up and rise to the occasion, take care of things without having to have their hand held. But like I said, Megan is definitely the most liked person at the yearbook of who was most popular and most liked. It's Megan. She is kind and she feeds everybody. She's constant. Birthdays, it's cupcakes, it's this, it's hey everybody, we're celebrating this. I made cinnamon rolls for everybody. She is absolutely incredible and she's extremely intelligent. She's very articulate. She's wonderful with customers. She has excellent ideas. There's a lot of things that we've changed, implemented as as a result of her ideas. She's very engaged. Is not afraid to speak up. So it's wonderful. I'm very thankful to have her on my staff and everything that you do, because my staff really does. When you have a good staff, it makes your job a lot easier because really are the leg stand on. I depend on every single one of them. I hope they know how much I appreciate them.
Question.
Can I get on the list for the cinnamon roll?
Yeah, you sure can, Nancy. I'll keep you in the loop.
I love that. Yeah. I make that all.
Thank you. I appreciate you. And I'm here because of all of you. That's a fantastic place to work, but it's who you work with and make friends. So you, yes, office with just a really great team.
And you can tell guys gel and, you know, if there's that one bad apple, you know, there's always like tension. You've seen none of that. None of it.
Definitely one of those that has the competency and drive. For example, let's just say Michelle, gonna go to Mexico for a month.
She's like, oh, I'm going to Mexico.
After budget's
I
passed.
will be the first one to step up to make sure that we all got together and made sure that everything was handled in her absence, and she does work herself. Take it very personally. She works herself very hard. Appreciate it, but we always worry, you know, because we don't want to over or stress anyone. I mean, even just coming into this board meeting, big agenda packed, a lot of stuff. Rachel being out and just stepped right in, and she's coming in on her day off because her general manager have everything together until Friday before, and fix it up, and we do it all over the phone at noon on Friday and get it out, and it's right and it's perfect, and she makes sure that is huge. That doesn't happen. I don't know, you know, don't find people like that care so much about their work that goes through everything and make sure that everything's right. Very much appreciated. I know it makes Rachel happy because Rachel personally know that things are happening, and that's just the way we operate across the board. So much appreciated all the work, all the growth. Honor.
Rachel, I mean. So you're sitting in Rachel's spot, so. Sure. Awesome. Any comments from the public? Okay, we'll move on. Okay, so the consent calendar, we need to move number E down in front of A, 6A. So if we could do that. We need a motion to do that. We get a motion to move E or E to front of 6A.
I'll so move. Bring that up myself.
Moved by Bob Swan, seconded by Ennis.
Sweetie public.
And is there any public comment?
Just a question. I didn't hear what you said. You're moving 4E in front of 6A.
Yes,
So we're moving it out of the consent calendar and moving it to a discussion.
make it a discussion on
It would normally be handled as a
consent calendar.
a motion to approve items 4A through 4E. Just one, without separately discussing item 4. If it's in the consent calendar, they take it as one action.
Okay, so you're just gonna make a motion to approve all of them except for that one? No,
That one, yeah.
except that one, right, okay. Sorry, I'm hard of hearing. Go.
We are. Okay, so it's been. Moved by Bob Swan, seconded by Janice Krakowski. Anybody in favor?
Aye.
So it's gonna be moved.
Items A through D. That's the movement of E. Now I'm going to move to approve the consent calendar items A through.
Second.
So it's been moved by Bob Swan to approve the consent calendar A through D, and by Nancy Mora. All in favor? Aye. So now we can go down to old business. There's no business. Yes.
What is?
Yes, I need public comment on.
Well, after the directors.
It's all right.
Michelle, will cost. How outrageously have they?
I can pull up. It's gone up a little bit. We've had to pay for the rental of the AWS generator, so the fuel costs have gone up, but per gallon, I'd have to look that up. Is that what you're asking?
No, I meant have our, we budget for, that's a budgeted item, right? I just wondered how far out of budget.
Oh, give me 1 second. I have a report here for the quarterly.
Said really increase a whole bunch as of yet. We're still under budget on that line item, and I don't really see us going over it unless something changes. We'll have better.
Yeah, water is at the end of the third quarter, water's under budget by 20. No, I'm sorry, I just lost it. That one is under budget. Looking at sewer. Fuel is under budget by about, not under budget, but still has about 14,000 left. So we'll come in right under budget. Fire is about 80%. So it'll probably come in right at budget, maybe a tiny bit over. Then looking at parks says we have a lot of fuel, but they do get some. Doesn't get charged much fuel. There's no fuel budgeted. So everything's pretty much on budget. But the generator did cost quite a bit. So monthly it goes up, but I think it'll be good.
Good budget.
We need fuel. That was like one of our main focuses. Fuel through the last budget cycle because we knew there was gonna be significant, I mean, we didn't account for that, but we cost increases there.
Maybe not $8 a gallon.
Yeah.
Thing at that time was like $5 a gallon. Pretty concerned about it, but we're still holding strong. And that generator hasn't. We run it every week, once a week for a couple hours, so we're not running it 24. That cost will definitely agree.
Thank you.
Okay. Any public comment? With that, we'll move on. Old business, there's no old business, so we're going to go to discussion action items. So we're going to go to D, adoption of a resolution approving non-technical corrections and needs to fire protection response services assessment.
So this is based on your agenda, just so that we have a front record of the assessment engineer's report. And there were changes, minor wording changes that were done by legal counsel. And it's done that way. We worked with legal counsel throughout the development, or the consultant did throughout the development of the assessment engineer's report. For the concepts, for the review of the methodology and the apportionment and the special benefit description and all of the legal aspects of the report was considered by the board in April. So the report is complete in all material aspects of it. And that's what was approved by the board, and that's what went on the ballot. This is text changes that don't change any of the apportionment. It doesn't change any of the figures and the amount that's used in attributing the cost to all of the parcels within the district. On Friday, when the agenda was distributed, and a copy of the revised language of the assessment engineer's report with the staff report that basically just said there were text changes in the assessment engineer's report. And subsequent to that, and that was the agenda. The agenda item is the approval of the updated engineer's report. And that was complete and posted on Friday. So as far as the question of whether it's a legal Brown Act agenda item, there's no question there. The agenda was posted. The meeting materials were posted with it. Subsequent to that, we had a request, two public requests to identify is there a document that identifies the specific changes that were made. So that was produced as a separate item for information discussion. And that was distributed, that was created as a red line version to highlight what those changes were. There were a couple of sentences added and wording changes or corrections made to some of the text. And so that was distributed publicly into the board at the same time. So it is a normal action of the board. There's no Brown Act issue with the way that it was presented. The red line version is not required by the Brown Act. Thing that in the normal course of business, we probably would have produced it. However, we weren't in control of the document at that time, and taking that document, making the conversion and then trying to compare the documents, it was absolute mess to try to present time. So we had the consultant prepare the document to the board and publicly. Again, it doesn't make a difference in the action that's requested, but this is just for documentation of an updated assessment. Thank you. Good for me.
So just wanted to clarify, because it's probably like since everybody's done Brown Act. Brown Act requires that the agenda be posted for regular meeting 72 hours in advance. The agenda material itself is not subject to that requirement. The requirement for that is that as soon as it's made available to the board is when it has to be also made available to the public. So the Brown Act is specific to the agenda itself and not the actual material contained within the packet.
What was sorry, I may have missed it. Other things, but the red line version is sent out as a separate email.
Right.
Board members and posted on the web. It sent out to the two people that had requested. You don't always create an additional public record, an additional record. In this particular case, and due to sensitivity and due to the nature of these types of actions, we produced a red line.
I do want to have usually the document is that large and it's just changes. It's easier to check the change. This again. Is there any change to the text of what was included? Assessment in packet. Do any of these changes include, do any of the changes that were to the engineer's report was reproduced in any way? The packet
And the packet or the
so there's no so this does not provoke any change to what was distributed.
Look at the red lines. They're very, very nice.
I'm sure they are. It's not just y'all. It's just this is kind of a contentious, kind of a touchy matter. So
yeah, and there's always suspicion that somebody's trying to do
something on after the fact.
For example, instead of saying per standards, it's 1910 standards. So specifically referring to the exact standard language addition. I'm just scrolling down through it. I can go through each of the changes if it's desired by the board. And if they made any difference on this, a material change, and we can't do it that way, then we would have to do it over. We'd have to be considering revised engineering report and do the balloting over. But this is under the advice of council, and it's they're very small changes. Add we didn't really have to make. It was just because they were recommended by council and to include them in a revision. Number of changes.
5 or 25?
There are approximately 2 sentences added and maybe 10 changes in wording or typo. Just estimating.
Any other comments? Board? Public comment?
I want to know, when did the board get the changes? I didn't hear. When did you get the finished version? I mean, did it come yesterday or did it come last week? Last week. Last week? No. Did not come last week. Okay, and it just didn't look like, I mean, I found one page that looked like a paragraph had been added. And so it didn't look like a couple of lines, but if it wasn't any big deal, then why did you make the change in the first place? That's what I don't understand. Everyone's saying not a big deal, but if it's not a big deal, it had to be some kind of a deal for you to want to make a change.
We just wanted, legal counsel stated that we didn't have, he had minor recommendations, take them or leave them, whatever you want to do. And we just decided, legal counsel made even minor recommendations. If it made the language a little clearer, instead of just saying standards, make a more solid engineer report, we felt that we wanted to include them. So that's why we did.
He didn't check this out beforehand. He caught this later on, right?
Yeah, well,
He was engaged, the legal counsel was engaged throughout the entire development of the engineer's methodology and the description of the special benefit and everything that has substance that relates to apportioning the assessment among the properties. Okay, so all of the key things to make sure that it was, and the process as well, consistent with Prop 218, this law. That was his involvement throughout the entire development of the report. This is a third-party engineer's report. And so once the report was developed, then legal counsel looked it over from specific wording perspective. Which, we appreciate him going through it in that level of detail. I think, yeah. Just for the sake of time, I can run through these really quickly. It's that small.
Probably we could have it on the record.
So, beginning in the beginning of the report, the page numbers were updated in the table of contents of the report. First change. Let's go all the way to beginning of the report document. 5. Yeah, we're going to see changes. Like specifically. Got this dialed in. Mission. Page numbers are at the top of page 11 of the report. In addition, there is the it's a special service provider within Tuolumne County charged with providing fire services with a service area of approximately 15 square miles. The assessment does not apply to properties outside of Groveland CSD boundaries. Receive risk other. Two sentences that were printed there. Does it change the way that the assessment was apportioned or? Okay, anyway, this makes that clear. The next change. Yes, actually, number is down on page 15. The new report. There's an addition. In the paragraph that starts with Groveland CSD currently contracts with CAL FIRE. And there are very long sentence added. CAL FIRE Schedule A cooperative agreement provides Groveland CSD with trained certified fire personnel at a cost that includes salary, benefits, workers' compensation, training, and pension obligations. These costs would otherwise be borne entirely by the district if it were to employ its own firefighters directly. A small rural district like Groveland CSD, directly employing firefighters would require the district to independently manage recruitment, certification, labor negotiation, or labor relations, benefit administration, resulting in significantly higher per employee costs without the operational and institution support that CAL FIRE provides. And with the substantial sentence that was added, again, it's just describing what expense gets outlined on page 17. Word agency was replaced with association. So National Fire Protection Association, FPA is the correct term. Further down that page, there was a sentence added under improved maintenance and replacement of apparatus and equipment. A fire engine is typically assigned a 20-year useful life consisting of 15 years of frontline service, followed by 5 years in reserve status per NFPA 1910 standards. That's just defining that paragraph more. That's was added. That sentence was added. Anything in the red line document that's underlined, added. And that it's being shown up on the as well. Page 21. Second paragraph. CSD as a community service boundaries cover an area of approximately 15 square miles situated in the greater Tuolumne County, which is approximately 2,270 square miles. That area specific to the assessment. Here. Page 23. Third paragraph. I'll read the whole sentence and tell you what was added. This special benefit is particular and distinct from its effect on other property outside the assessment district and such other real property. And a large do not share the special benefit. So this is defining in better terms the fact that the linked and its effect on the special beneficiaries, and it's different from what is received by those outside the assessment. It doesn't change the.
Sorry, what purpose?
It's on the third. You may not see the same paragraphs if you're looking at the full document without the changes. Also, it's on page 23.
Yeah.
Of my red line document. It's under the heading of, let me go up just a little bit. Health and Safety Code section 13914 states. You're still looking for it?
Yes. Here. You can show it 3.
On page 23, it's viewed at the top, where it's the top.
Starts off with the following 2 sections describe how. Okay. That might make it easier. So after the word property on the third line, outside the assessment district was added. The word such after the word and right after that. Outside the district, comma, and such other real property.
Missing health and safety codes.
It's up on the page.
Okay, I got it.
Then on the very next page, Well, actually, it shows on my page 23. The paragraphs down. There's a heading of overview of special benefits from fire protection services. Second paragraph starts with fire suppression and emergency response. I'll read the sentences, changes the second sentence. This direct service delivery distinguishes fire protection services from more generalized public amenities or services, such as police services, public parks and open space, or library services. So, or services, amenities or services was added. These services and public, for the word parks. Further defining other services that are that are not typically defined as a special benefit, where the benefit is not tied to a specific parcel, is broadly available to the public at large, that was added. In other words, the sentence reads, this direct service delivery distinguishes fire protection services for more generalized public amenities or services, as such, police services, public parks, and open space or library services where the benefit is not tied to a specific parcel, is broadly available to the public at large, or requires travel. So it's adding some descriptors to general benefits so that or defines general benefits versus special benefits.
Right, so the key sentence in there is the first sentence of that paragraph. This is just illustrations of things that aren't.
Something important to add, police services and library services, description of what general. Change. Yes. My page 3. Number 3. Number 3, benefits to the public. Here. Here. It's easier for me to read on the screen than on my. Sentence was added. Furthermore, the greater Tuolumne County area is served by the Tuolumne County Fire Department and other county districts. And except as described in this report, the assessment services would not be provided properties served by fire service providers. And that doesn't change the nature of the services or the description because it's described in the report that we provide services under mutual automatic aid to all of the departments. So that's just this sentence makes sure that it's clear that the benefit is defined by automatic and mutual aid, and it's limited to those and not other services that we would provide. Others we can't serve as we can't fund other things outside the district with this assessment. It's already described in the report. It's just other types. See, yeah. Change. These decks. That's under the overview approach and risk and replacement factors. It's just a spacing issue. Changes are, it just shows that the reference of table 4 and table 5 were moved over. Didn't add anything, anything.
And just to make them be a column, the C table.
Just to make it more uniform. Yeah.
Okay, just a graphical.
Okay, the next one is on page 39. Starts off with a bulleted list, area adjustment factor. And a period was the extra area. This is where we track changes. This is what you get. So every time a period is. Yep. Okay. Notice that change was made. Yes. Okay. Okay, there's an additional change on my page 51 under the green heading assessment. And yours are colored. Whereas that's the typical sign. The provisions are striking table 9. Guessing table 9 is there was cleaner way to do it. And the replaced table 9 correctly identifies the contributions, other sources that is included in the original table 9, but the 1,606,082 of the that is the non-farm taxes that we receive. Were not shown in the table. Right, that doesn't change the calculation. It doesn't change the materials for distribution because the amount that is made up with fire suppression assessment from all of the other tables is 1,586,390. That's the long fall. But again, the only change there was the addition of the 1,606,082. Go to the next page. Obviously, they reformatted this together and set the lines basically. But that's the only difference. That doesn't affect the assessment because it's based on the 1,586,393. The assessment diagram is here to attached. After that table, and made part thereof. I think they just took a space out between word and made. That it looked like it was completely replaced. That was change. Almost there. On the signature page, the date changed from April 3rd to 8th. It might be just easy to see it up here if it's fancy yours and look up. That's from the signature page by John Bliss from. No changes were made. Assessment diagram description or any of the attachments. Assessment program or the fire hazard area diagram or the travel time. Those were changed. That's it. I don't know. Numbers, can I state it first or not? I think I missed it by a sentence. I got this describing the inclusion of the report. Thank you. I will move to House Resolution
126. Resolution Board of Directors, Groveland Community Services District approving non-technical correction statistics with the fire protection response services assessment. It's like first period.
Moved by Paul Swan. Seconded by Jim. Any board comment? Any public comment? All in favor? Aye. That's. Get on to 6A, adoption of a resolution amending the P25 deadline for development and approval of the year fire service agreement between County from March 2026 June 7.
This may sound confusing on the surface that we're amending a resolution, but we adopted an identical resolution in resolution 2025. 19. Try that date again. 2025. And the only change was a change in the date. That's the date of expected execution of long-term agreement with the county, providing a level of service outside the district boundaries. We're doing it, proposing to do it in this way because if you've ever jumped into public agency records and tried to recreate what in the heck is going on, first thing you would do is we could come across a resolution in 2025 and then a resolution in 2026, and you have to wonder why that was done, because you typically don't have all the agenda middles and everything associated with it in the resolution book. And it's a best practice if you're if you're just amending a piece of an action you've already taken to amend the prior resolution by resolution. But this resolution and it's the prior resolution. So this resolution will be in the resolution book, and it'll refer back to the amended resolution 2025, and it'll actually be in that we can adopt this and fix it for the date change. So that's the nature of this, or that's the nature of the action. In the meat and potatoes of it, this is a cooperative resolution that was adopted by the Board of Supervisors in April, unanimously, except there was one absence. I have to assume that would have been unanimous had Roger been there. But this is many years in the making, and it is very much appreciated that in the resolution the county has stepped up and has understood the fact that the continued development and continued need for services, fire services outside of the district boundaries is something that the county needs to take into consideration. That is, it's a big statement by the Board of Supervisors. Remember, we've struggled for many years as projects come up and we comment that they were not going to respond. And then we have a conversation with CAL FIRE and they said that's not going to work for us. And then we've said, hey, we're going to respond, but it's going to put too much of a burden on us. In many cases, in all cases, it didn't get included in the conditions for development or the developer to do anything, relieved our obligation to respond outside the district boundaries. So the recognition by the Board of Supervisors that exists, that need exists for response outside the district boundaries, and the need to work on a longer term arrangement to make sure, because when these projects are approved, they're not approved for a short period. There's no end date on the approval of a under canvas or Terra V. It's as long as they can survive. You know, and so there needs to be consideration or thought on how the services are going to be provided. Again, like I said, with Pine Mountain Lake, if the district didn't exist and Pine Mountain Lake came forward, the county and its conditions for approval would have to find some way to make sure that fire, law enforcement, and utilities were provided, either through a special district or annexed to a special district or whatever. In this particular case, in the case of all the resorts, there was no district annexed to. But the county's actions at the time didn't consider annexation to GCSD. It didn't consider creation of a new district. It just approved projects to exist out there. The most recent projects, they did include conditions within the approval that require a fair share fee. At the time, we were working with the county back years ago when those were first considered, to encourage the county to do a community facilities district or something attached to the property, so that the county was guaranteed funding going forward to expand the department in the future, just so that in the event that the county was unable to fund it in some other way, at least there was a source of revenue. The district wound up having to respond to calls out there because the county wasn't able to keep an engine here. That was the thought. That's not part of this resolution. It's just part of the background discussion. But it's been a good working relationship. I was really proud and happy to see the county take up this resolution and for it to feel positive. Advisor Griefer was in strong support and led the board to good support of this. They'd considered it before, but it was on its own. So when it was associated with this agreement for them, extension of this agreement, it made sense. They had it combined in a single action. This resolution, the co-location agreement, we've separated it out, separate action. So I fully appreciate where we are in this, and this charts the course for us to develop an agreement over the next 15 months now, or no, 13, 12 months. Anyway, we need to do it within a year so that we can get it for some type of long-term arrangement to commemorate that commitment. County to provide services outside the boundaries. Some derivative thereof. The district's responsibility. One way.
The county has already approved extension, right?
They did, yes, they did a combined action approving the resolution and the agreement at the same time. It's consideration of amending the resolution in 25. That's
I move to adopt resolution 14, 2026, ending resolution 25. Extend the deadline for developing multi-year fire services agreement on County 6. So, second.
So it was a long time. Comment from the board? We have. So. It's good. Public comment on this. Sure. Waited a whole meeting for, right? Loud in the neck. See the county's making sure that the services that county is providing is a good partners for CSD. We recognize our role as fire service through the Tuolumne County Fire Department to provide services outside of the sphere of influence of GCSD. As you know, or may not know, that this agreement had expired. So this actually brings us up to code to make sure that we have a good working relationship. Obviously, there's no hard line in the sand saying that there will be or won't be some form of agreement because as you know, these things change over time.
we want to be recognized as good partners. We support GCSD and its goals to be as self-sufficient as possible within their sphere. We want to be, like I said, aware and cognizant that the only way the county and GCSD can survive in the long term is growth. We can't tax our way out of current situation. We're going to have to grow our way out of certain situations. We hope that this is a first step to eventually not see the county be faced with any litigation in future plans. That was always one of the things we kept hearing, is that GCSD has taken steps to kill projects, air quote kills for people who are watching. So we hope that this shows that in good faith, we're here to work with the county or with the district, and vice versa. Any questions? Thanks.
Thank you, being patient.
Yeah. Now I know it's like on this side of the aisle. Yeah.
It's quite an accomplishment. It really is, solves a lot of that. It really does. This level of relationship, very much appreciate.
Any other comment from public? All in the vote. Any in favor?
Aye.
Yeah. Six B. Option of resolution approving an amendment and cost reimbursement agreement. Coalition extending. Oh. Location. Yeah, it is. I'm not gonna say. Extending through June 30th, 2027.
I'll go relatively fast. Like I said, the county took it up as a single action. We had taken the resolution separately last time. We amended the resolution with the last action. That was the cooperative joint resolution. This is a separate action, as we always do with agreements or amendment of agreements. We take action by a separate resolution. So that's why you've got resolution 15-2026 in your packet. And this the agreement is identical to what it was before, except for the changes that are outlined in the actual amendment document, which in the first section amends the term of the agreement. It's replacing the maintenance and repair section because that section caused a little bit of confusion and budget unrest with the county, because when something failed that was, for example, the door that was in front of the engine that they use all the time, getting in and out of that building failed, substantial repairs were necessary, and a portion of the cost was billed to the county in a lump sum. Well, that's under the agreement, it's fine, but from a county budget perspective and it didn't make a lot of sense to continue to do it that way as something breaks, because it could break the day that their concrete could last for 10 more years. So investing in it and a replacement, if the county engine isn't there, doesn't make a lot of sense. So the amendment to the agreement amortizes it over the expected life based on industry guidance on how long those items would last. We actually have a number of times that go up and down that they are expected to last. And so that's the exhibit A, the agreement. Basically, went through all of the items that are co-used. Doesn't address landscaping and things like that. Things that if the county engine wasn't there, no interest, then they shouldn't contribute to it. If they're there and part of the use of an item, and what we did, instead of having it be a lump sum as it breaks, it's taking the useful life of that, applying a cost to it, and amortizing it out and charging it and calling a rent. so that they've got predictability in their budgeting and everything else. So the utilities, water, gas, sewer, internet, are still billed the same way that they were. Right now, splitting the cost 50-50 on those. As you mentioned, those are costs that are based on the number of people that are in the building. So those are the two major changes, or three. Changing the length of the term to June 30th of 27. Adding the rent payment that amortizes out, so it amends that paragraph, clarifies the damage paragraph, continues to please. So again, this is approved by the county. Recommended for your
Move to adopt resolution 15. The amendment of the license cost conversion fire engine look.
It's moved by the board comments. Public comments are
And we appreciate the hard work that was put in by your staff to accomplish this. As you know, the county is getting away from fuzzy math. It's what is very difficult for the county to budget what our responsibilities were to this fire station. So we understand that being renters, we want to know what we're responsible for and where we can help out. This also helps out our bean counters to make sure that they know exactly what they can figure out each month. And it gives better transparency to, I think, both the public for the county as well as your own constituents on what is being shared and paid for by whom. So this is another step that we want to demonstrate to GCSD and your constituents that the county is 100% behind being great partners and understanding what our responsibilities are and how we can be as team players paying for some of the other stuff. I know one of my coworkers was a little curious to some of the appliances and kitchens and stuff like that. But it's kind of funny how some things get stuff like that. But the reality is that everything gets used from time to time. So like it's living with your best friend and who's got to be paying for the stuff that gets broke. So we appreciate it.
he did. He did.
Exactly.
He broke the white engine.
Yeah. Funny, I hear it's the other one.
Thanks, Steve. That's the risk you have anytime you go down to this level of detail. But I have to give kudos to Deputy County Administrator Liz Peterson because she's one to work directly with there internally with her staff and going through everything, just being reasonable about what we have in last. It was a great effort.
Any other comments? Okay, we'll call for the vote. Everybody in favor? Aye. Opposed? We on to C in today's movie for the board. Right. Okay. Adoption of resolution establishing the Citizens Advisory Committee for the Fire Suppression Assessment. This is action request of the board to publish a specific report to you. In your packet, there is a description in the staff report or summary. There's another description itself, because many times it's helpful to actually have it in the solution. Charter changes for a committee in the future, it may not get reflected in the resolution. The resolution has the intent of that committee. And then there's a charter included. Again, that's just taking what's in the resolution, expanding it a little bit, thing that can be handed out.
and published for people to know what this committee is about, what the responsibilities are, and then there's also application that was just included just to have something that will bend and flex based on how it goes and just way forward. There's no specific authority vested in the committee. In other words, they don't make decisions on their own about expenditures, management of the service, any of that. But for the purpose of assessment, they will come to know if it's approved, the amount of revenue that's coming in, the amount of other revenue that we have, total expenses of the department, and to be able to be a check valve per se, to understand that what's in the engineer's report, well, if they have a good understanding of the engineer's report, it's only going for that special benefit, and that the money is flowing in, they can see that, they understand it, and then also the expenditures that are associated with it, because we're proposing that the assessment is approved, that we would immediately place an order for an engine, things like that. 3 years to get it, or 20 years old. Those are the types of things that the Citizens Advisory Committee would, they might for an invoice want to see that an order has been placed and then be able to provide an independent report. And it's fairly easy to find these structures out there. There are many districts that do this, many either taxes or assessments in place that have a citizens committee that is a more in-depth view of things and makes recommendations, or staff provides a support role, in other words, or budget, or we participate in meetings. But it's we're a support role, and they report to the for example, you're seeing some angst about a maximum 5% increase on the assessment. And there are people that assume that that's going to happen automatically every year, that it just happens. The Citizens Advisory Committee would play a key role in that we'd expect that they would want to know in detail what creates the need for that. Did we not collect enough revenue? Did the expenses go up higher than we had anticipated over that 15-year period? And so it really helps us as well, because in many cases we work in a vacuum. You know, we understand the expense, we understand the revenue. This in many cases can have a different perspective on that. So the primary role again is providing reports to the board. They would evaluate the interest for the year as well, and bring each year the board will consider the assessment rate for the next year. With the assessment, that's what you have an updated engineer's report that'll contain any changes in properties. Maybe there's a subdivision, maybe there are a lot, there are things that affect the total number of parcels assessed. Well, this committee would be intimately involved. That's what staff. You know, there is always an opportunity that the committee recommends one thing, but staff recommends another. It's always a consideration. The other thing was just one thing. Anyway, I'll take questions. I think. The membership on the committee. It's recommended a fairly large committee size. As you know, not everybody shows up for a meeting every single time. And we want to make sure that we have broad representation. The goal is we're not looking for just those that say slow Groveland fire. Yeah, we support 100%. That's not what we're looking for all different part of it. Because it's really helpful from belief people that don't understand and don't support would benefit from being part of the discussion. Not that they're ever going to support, but they'll at least be get more detailed information and have a direct link. Okay, it's heater button.
So the intent here, timing, is actually to work on establishing this way.
Correct.
Prior to. So if the assessment does not pass, then we'd simply say, sorry, there is no.
No, actually, this would be a very good opportunity to have the Citizen Advisory Committee take a look at it. It would be a broad group of people.
So this is Citizens Advisory Committee for fire suppression and response.
It's for the assessment. However, a good purpose of this is, for example, if it did fail, I would expect that we would be looking at a way to either recraft for the November ballot or to go back out with an assessment. Yeah, because I mean, something has to happen for us to maintain the level of service. And this Citizen Advisory Committee would be a good way to have our feelers out there from a staff perspective. Also, findings give us some more from staff and give us more warriors out in the community, bringing back perspectives on.
Idea, but how between the 7 to 11 members appointed by the board, who are these people that we're going to appoint?
That was the purpose of the there's an application. Just broadly cast the net out there. And it's very clear that we're not looking just for people, that support or oppose. Ideally, we would be bringing you a group of people that represented inside PML, outside PML, maybe PML itself, maybe church, maybe people that absolutely hate the thought of an assessment, disadvantaged communities, senior groups, citizens at large. However it comes forward, I think it'd be a really good opportunity.
We'll have to figure out a schedule. I mean, we'll this out. There's a lot of applications. People are going to need to schedule when you contemplate applications.
And I would think we need probably a 30-day period.
I was actually going to think of, but yeah, you want to get on with it. Maybe we fill some of this. Maybe we talk about it. Maybe we fill some of the slots in 30 days and you open for on it. Add on. In fact, it passes, for example, fails. There may be a different people.
It could be that we bring it back in June as a report how many applications we have. If there are any recommendations started.
Sure. I mean, I should look at it every meeting.
And then see, if we have more than enough to fill it, we fill it. If we still need more, then question would be filled before we have any more. This is a goal of having that.
I'll move to adopt resolution 16-2026, establish Citizens Advisory Committee for assessment for fire suppression.
Second that.
That was moved by Bob Swan. Is it by the comment from the board? What? The comment from the public?
Don, you'll remember you used to have ad hoc committees and we had an ad hoc fire committee. You may have been on it. Were you on it, John?
I was, yeah.
I think you were too, because I was there. So would suggest, I mean, if you're going to have an ad hoc committee, it should be open to the public. So I don't know if you're gonna have 6 people on the committee or 10 people, but it should be open and open. It was very useful when we had it. It really was, because you get a lot of different perspectives from everybody and they bounce off everybody. So especially if this thing fails, okay, you need to figure out why it failed and what to do the next time to prevent it from failing. I'm sorry, I can't hear you. What's
Not gonna, if we want them.
That's why there's gonna be applications to anybody.
But all of our other ad hoc committees were open. In other words, it was set like
It
once
is
a month.
open to the public. It is.
It's
Oh,
open.
yes, it is
All,
open to,
just to.
because all meetings have to be open.
And to be clear, this is not an ad hoc committee.
No,
This is
not an
this is an external committee of citizens. This is not an ad hoc committee of the
Different. Can someone tell me the difference?
board members will not be members of the committee.
Why not?
Citizen.
Can't you
Because
have,
it's not a-
we used to have one board member and then the
We're
public.
different. It's
because we're
different.
not doing it
Ad
that way.
hoc.
We don't say that.
It's citizens.
It's a citizens.
We want the citizens input. Choose
The
from a broad.
chairman will be elected by the members of the committee, not by us.
Okay, but it wouldn't be like one meeting a month, a certain day or time instead of,
The committee may decide that. I mean, I think we have a recommendation that it should be at least once a month. Makes common sense, but if you want to meet every twice a month, it's gonna be a citizens advisory committee. You know, you can report in on that every board meeting.
they'll have a report.
Presumably, you would come, at least the chairman and possibly the committee will come in and present what they have to, recommendations. And questions they have.
The assessment passes, it's still gonna go on. Citizens. You know, just to make sure the money's going to the right spot, stuff like.
Good thing. This is a good thing.
Any other public comment?
So obviously, anytime you have more people involved, the better it's gonna be. CSD has the exact same problem the county has. Well, and that's the reason Measure C failed in the county. So I like the very first thing that was on your list there. It said build public trust. So what I would encourage strongly is that we try to find somebody county to, not that I'm gonna volunteer, but I find someone from the county to be part of that, since we are a property owner with that. Chief, you want a member of the county be a part of this process. But the other thing is that, you know, to Mr. Schwann's point, is you have time. If this does pass, then your organizational documents say that after it's passing, then you will form this committee. So you're not up against any timeframes right now. You can throw out your applications, see what you get, and then go from there. If it does not pass, then to Pete's point, you're right. You have another golden opportunity to explain why and how and go. So, and final comment that was made about where the money is going to go. I think that's a little not clear, because is that my understanding is this committee would be solely to decide whether or not there would be a rate increase or not of up to 5%.
Well, they'll advise the board.
Right, to either increase or not, 0 to 5% per year. That's how the documents were about. So I think that's one of the questions is this organization going to, because let's just say in a perfect world, GCSC wins the lottery and you don't need to raise it every 5, you don't need to raise it 5%.
It's an advisory. As it with themselves and the board.
Correct, whether or not to make a recommendation to.
Exactly.
Exactly, so they're saying.
To the board.
I understand that, but I'm getting a little pushback now. I'm not understanding why we're getting pushback, because.
You said it was their sole.
It is their sole position to advise the board.
Advisory, yes.
Right.
Yes.
It won't be their decision whether we raise it or not. It actually comes back to.
I know that. I've said that's what I'm trying to explain, is that you want people to buy in on your process. And the process may be, we don't recommend anything. The board has data that says we have to do something.
Right.
So you're trying to build that bridge. And I think that's what the intent here. And that, my point being, is that the county would love to see this happen. We obviously have our own communities that we like to get input from. More input you get from your community, the stronger your position is. So should you not need to, man, that would be great, right? Have to come back and tell the people, hey, we're not raising it 5% because everything's great. County has done of taxpayers or something along those lines to help out. The reverse is these are tough times. So strongly encourage this. I think it's a great idea. I was unaware that it would be outside sphere of influence of GCSD. So if you do take that on, I think that's an even great way we can partner. Thank you.
Any more comments? Okay, with that, I call for the vote. Anybody in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Moving on to 6D. So, a long agenda.
Well, we put the tough stuff up front.
Okay. Discussion regarding appropriate public engagement procedures for representatives to avoid appearance of advocacy during the assessment ballot process.
This is good. I'm gonna go really fast on it. Because some degree, most of you have had some exposure to this in the various conferences and discussions with other board members, and but we haven't been through this process as this board. And there are very important and strict legal requirements about this. And so this presentation is pretty generic. It does get repetitious, say this, not that, say this, not that. So I'm not going to get into that level of detail, but I think you'll get the point that again, our obligation on this measure is to inform as a board, anything using public resources, district time, district equipment, printers, vehicles, whatever. We're prohibited from advocating a yes or no vote, either way. However, we have broad authority to provide information, ramp up the information on what this assessment is, but it's not due. That's public meetings. Again, we're not advocating for it. We put it together again because we're planning for the future, and we're putting that out there. That's what this plan is. And so, included with this is a presentation. I don't necessarily have anybody to go through it with me, so I'm gonna sound like okay. So what's really nice is on the it is a legal requirement. It's the public trust and it's protection district that we're having this discussion. Is to inform you. I like the slide that says remember the facts. I may not remember this coming out of here, but that's the acronym. Factual information only. Avoid urging a specific vote. Cite official documents. Tone stays neutral. Separate personal views. Anytime you get into a heavy, convincing type tone, it tends to justify it. I can see. So, what the law says, what is and what's not allowed, agencies are offer an impartial analysis of a measure and utilize public funds for factual information to the community, which includes the measure's fiscal implications and operational details. Okay. The assessment is necessary because we don't have cash in the bank or the cash flow to be able to account for our contract after the dates here in the future. And we have no cover replacement fund, and we're not covering the operating costs. Those are things that you can say. There are documents that are on the website that have very specific information about this. Taking calls every day from people, questions, to provide that information and give them the homework material and everything else. There's been a lot of people that called that just are very informed voters. Love it. that they want to know. I want to read through all of the social media stuff that is all over the place and get to the point where is what specifically does this mean? And I can provide them. I can the website information. If you want to hand somebody a particular document, if they don't want to do web research or anything like that, we can get you copies of anything material we have. What's not allowed is to use public funds, staff time, equipment, or supplies promote a particular outcome on ballot measure, including telling members of the public whether to vote yes or no. Online. Good protocol. That's the online of it. Some examples of informing versus advocacy, delivering factual insights, clarifying the workings of the assessment, how it's applied, outlining the ballot process details, guiding to official documents, and addressing inquiries with factual data. If you know it, you don't guess. We've got it. We can provide that factual data. Haven't had somebody make just we've got that information to be able to provide you by them. Just make sure that they have access to it. I can touch with them if they did you directly. Have specific questions. Encouraging yes or no vote is not allowed. Using persuasive emotional language, wearing campaign buttons for peril, distributing persuasive materials at work, using district email or resources to promote. Not allowed. I think that's pretty universally understood. So, do you want me to get into the scenarios, or do we pretty much most of it? Because we've done this internally. I think we're the ones exposed to it quite a bit. If you're exposed, just remember those facts. That is factual information. Right? Websites, send them to us. Ask us to produce a document. Give them however it works. Or if you get any emails or questions, they think something is wrong. You can certainly think on us. That would be the best way, especially if somebody didn't get a ballot or their ballot's absolutely wrong or something like that. The earlier we know about it, the earlier we can get them a replacement ballot. That's the handles all of that. In a community meeting, those are tough sometimes. Because from my perspective, I want to. It was on my mind. All the work that went in behind it. This isn't just again. It's not a money grab by GCSD. Nobody on this table, or anywhere else, financially benefits from any of this. It's a long-term plan on the fire department. Be able to guarantee you're going to get services. That's reaction evaluation about. So in a community meeting, sometimes you're hit with questions that I got to dance around because I can't answer what's in my head. I've got to. Hey, we've got information about that. We've evaluated those things. We don't think these things are gonna work. Yeah. So anyway, that's the hardest part is when you get the questions that you think you have an answer to this. Yeah. I don't expect you'll get any media interviews. But if you do, let's have a conversation so we can talk. Make sure you have all the most current data and everything else. The navigating graders where you speak or write, ask yourself, could this statement appear in a news story as the district advocating for or against measure? Just rephrase it because of on matters. Sometimes I get pretty emotional, especially when things are really incorrect and I want to what's right, but I just think about and rephrase it because that emotional tone and really pushing something. Yeah, a lot of it's having to the documents. We've got a whole slew of documents. If a question that is asked of you, somebody says, hey, I looked at all the FAQ, I looked at all the documents, it's not there. Make sure we get it. Make sure we get that question sent to us so that we can address it in our FAQ, whatever. Okay, or send you specifically to the answer so that you can reply back. So we're constantly updating the FAQ, a document that's frequently asked questions. Onto your rights as a private citizen. Because you are outside of the board, you are a citizen. You're not using district resources if you're not wearing a district shirt, if you're not on district time. And board members are have more freedom in that than do employees that are on the clock all day.
Make a comment. Yeah, so one of the things it says there is do not imply this. So it's hard to visualize that, to think about when, as a board, you voted on something. You voted on was not actually for the assessment. You voted to put it in front of the public. We voted to proceed with the special purpose assessment ballot because we have to do something about money. That actually, just technically speaking, isn't the district endorsing the position. It is endorsing having the public decide if they want to do this or not. Okay, I think that's important because it always looks a little silly to not apply the district. Versus people are going to say, well, you want this to happen. You want to vote on it. There is facts that indicate that you need another source of revenue, but all we actually have done is put this in front of the public. The property owners, right? And the property owners to decide. Right? We're very
Right there, especially with all the derogatory things you put out there about the board. All we're doing is providing information. We have the opportunity to decide, encouraging one way or the other. This is where we're at. This is old.
Nothing more staff. It's nothing to gain one way or the other. We're professionals putting it out there. Right, to make sure that the questions are answered and to provide the information that helps them be an informed voter. That doesn't mean that on your own time, and separating yourself completely from the district. There's always somebody's going to say, well, aren't you on the GCSD board? On the GCSD board, but I'm on my own time, my own opinion. Try. There's a fine line to walk. However, it's not unusual in special tax assessment measures, those types of things, for community groups to form and community groups to communicate one way or the other, and for board members individually to participate in those types of things. So it's not an unusual thing to have happen. But it's not something that is the action of this board, and you need to make it very clear that you don't represent the board in any types of interactions there. So, for example, if somebody's not involved in the district, they're a friend or a neighbor, you have your own opinion representing the board. Always good to make it clear up front. As your neighbor, here's what I go through in my head. It's just the way that I feel. Or again, for or against. Can't measure some rallies, posting on social media, those types of things. Again, you want to be careful about the way that you do it and the way that it's but you're using personal accounts and not presenting board this to board that, GCSD this and that. is much different. So do not use district email, device, or letterhead. We know that. Do not campaign during work hours. We all know that. Do not imply the district endorses the position. Swan made a good statement there. Clearly separate personal views from your official role. Do not use your title to lend weight advocacy. I'm the president of the board. And I said that is not acceptable. You're John the ex-firefighter, interested citizen. Those are, so again, I didn't get into detail on the scenarios or anything like that. I think all people, if you ever have any question, something you want to say to somebody or a response you owe to somebody or anything else and want to, we'll check it with us. Be sure that you have answers to your questions. Usually we can lead them back. Analysis, some document, some budget item, some work that we've done, one thing that we've evaluated in the past. No recommend. No action recommended, but can still take public comment.
Yes. The board comment? In public comment.
Yeah, no. Come on, Steve. I could wing something, but
Free to stand up.
get my steps in.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, yes.
Are you speaking or no? You're not speaking.
No, go
Okay.
ahead.
I have noticed on social media, there's a lot of angry people out there. A lot of angry people. So it's getting to the, I think they should shut it down because pros and cons over this assessment is getting nasty and out of hand. A lot of people can't control themselves. They just lose it. So I just wanted to make that point. It's not nice.
I hate to say it, I'm not on social media, so I'm not on social media.
Unfortunately, I have a lot of time on social media because my business stuff. Yeah, it's getting that up. I think a lot of the people that I've seen, I don't see a lot, and I don't work a lot. Is that there's making comments are not important. Basically going by somebody else. And that's going to show up to these meetings, talk to us. We all live here. We're all trying to do what's best for what we feel for the community.
Are you allowed to, you say people should talk to you, but you might not have the answers. They might need to talk to someone at the district. You might not have a little piece of some knowledge that Pete has. Do you know what I mean?
Well, this is where we can do it.
That's what I mean. Okay.
Before we answer that question,
Staff
and I've done it before, before I say anything, come to them and ask them.
Okay,
what do you
because
think about this? I should
There's so much back and forth going on. It's like, I don't even want to look and see what's for sale anymore.
Well, the people are like, there's some people on there that are personal friends of mine that are making broad statements. And I'm going, either they don't even know I'm on the board, or they're just basing it on things from other people. We'd love to give, we're informational, provide education. That's what we're trying to do.
If somebody asks me questions like that, I come to the staff. That way they see it in writing. So it's fun.
I think the general consensus, this is just my opinion, that everybody thinks that you're on the board, that you're pushing this. And you probably are, because like you said, you can't do it. You can't continue it without the funding. I know my thoughts and some other people's thoughts are, and I'm just being honest, okay? I'm not trying to pick on anybody because we've had fire assessments in the past. They were just done differently. So people want to see a comparison. Like for instance, this is what it is if we keep CAL FIRE, but if we do it differently, like we went back to our fire department before CAL FIRE, they're asking, I've seen these posts, Bob, you've seen them too. If you have, I know, you've seen them too. Why wasn't anything compared? I know you feel that there is no comparison. I do understand that. But I also, the other side of me says, Well, had you had a fire committee before, okay, and there were people thinking outside of the box, maybe there was another way that this could have gone down. And it has to be continue with these guys, but maybe there was a way to have it not quite as pricey. I don't know. I look at the budget and the engineer's report and I see things and I think, do they really need that money for that? Or is there an extra 10,000 for that that can go for lowering price that it's hitting people up with? So I feel, and that's what a lot of people that I know are looking at. It's not the assessment they're against. It's the dollar amount and the methodology that you arrived at it. Well, I just wanted to make that clear.
Yeah,
Some of those are my feelings too.
I would direct somebody to ISTA.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
I would direct somebody to ISTA because ISTA has all the parameters and how it does the,
It's just that
it's the national fire. It's basically how fire departments operate, okay? They have standards for fire.
I know it's the standards. I understand the 3-0. I do.
Yes.
But like cities like Stockton and Sonora that don't use CAL FIRE, they don't have to do that. Am I correct?
They
Do they?
if they-
They have to do the same thing?
Because let's say,
They have to do the same thing?
Yeah, instead of discussing the merits.
City of Stockton, just like that, 3-0.
Right and wrong as far as.
I can't speak to the staffing. This is CAL FIRE staffing. Meeting too, and it's not a negotiated rate. Fiscal sheets published, same cooperative agreement for Walmy County or GTSD or Riverside. All pays the same rate for the staffing. Now, what you're talking about with Sonora City, they have their own benefit assessments or special taxes specific to fire. So I would say that this is similar to what they've done.
What they're doing.
And that's how they were able to buy their equipment, how they were able to build their new station, their facility, how they're able to retain their staffing.
That's how we bought our engine maybe 15 years ago. 19 years ago? Well, it was a good guess. I was around when they bought that engine, but I think people are more upset with the methodology and the way not you, because you guys weren't involved in that, but the way that SCI.
But they're also giving back money that's 5% every year.
Yes, we need to, seriously, John.
we need to
get off.
So
So it sounds like the board check is handle on.
Yeah.
Right from wrong. I would suggest, websites. If you have that committed to memory, if not, we'll send out an email again. Just with that so that you can give them that if they don't want to talk to the district. Some people just want to talk to us. Trust us back, but on the website, they can do research. If they stop questions, they can contact us or they can contact us.
But
anyway, okay, so moving on. Option of a resolution authorizing the general manager to enter into contract. Yeah. Versus continued regulatory compliance and operational oversight. District water and steam wastewater.
I don't want to belabor this item, but I do want to let you know that this, the proposed action is to enter into agreement staffing for the operators, still subject to notification to the union. Because there are new laws that have been adopted in the last few years that require union notification in advance of basically replacing a union position with a contract. That doesn't mean we can't do it. In almost emergency situations, if not already emergency, we have, you're required by the state of California to have an operator certified that is in control of the treatment plant and basically puts their job, their certification on the line and completing reports things, state reports and things like that. They're certified, and they have to be paid the way that they are. So for people to say everybody should get salary cuts, and to take offense to that, because we have, no matter what we do, even doing the salary and benefit, the full compensation studies that we do, and setting our compensation in the median of that, we have difficulty in attracting people to move away from urban areas with their family and move to Groveland. Home inventory is low and the cost of living is high. Listen, it just is. Anywhere in California, expensive. Unless they're selling $1 million home in the Bay Area and moving here, which is an anomaly. You know, it's a wage that supports a $500,000 home. But in this particular case, the chief plant operator is, and within our organizational chart, is absolutely required under a permit, may take that responsibility. And Louis has been serving in that role in addition to everything else that he does. It's not she's qualified and certified to do it, but and we also have Greg Dunn, who still is helping on the report side of it and things like that, because it's extremely complicated. It's not just you show up for work and you turn it out and you go home. This is meeting the state requirements, and they're ever changing, and they're extremely difficult to comply with. And so we have advertised for over a year for this position. We've had one interview. It was not fit district. But then looking at our salary schedule and everything else, we're comparable. It's not something we need to just jack the salary up to try and find somebody. That's not what's going to do it. When you're in that position, when you're a chief plant operator, and with the low inventory of those throughout the state, you're desirable anywhere. You can go anywhere you want to go. You've got the right experience and the right job experience, qualifications and certifications. The difficulty is, and Groveland's always had that trouble in attracting the professional and employees. Ideally, we would be promoting up into that. But unfortunately, it takes many years in the wastewater side of our operation to get to the point where you're certified and experienced at the level necessary at the grade 3 level. It takes a lot of years, and our employees don't have those years, that experience yet to be able to just have that landed in their lap. Eventually they will. Guys, man, I'll tell you, our first get certified as fast as they possibly can. You have to have experience requirements and educational requirements and take a test. Now we have looked at this arrangement. It's extremely expensive on an hourly basis. I like it from that perspective, but you either contract for it and pay the price for the contractor, or you go without and risk losing employees or having a violation. Not much alternative right now. So this is a good middle ground, gives us the opportunity to continue to recruit, and also has the possibility within the contract to be able to transition over time that employee, if they work out, into a relationship out everything else. They would become an employee of the district. Questions?
I assume the violation would come with a healthy fine on top of it.
It usually comes with a daily fine, so every day that you won't have someone at this. And it also involves typically a notice to correct. Takes about a time before it takes some type of action. Much action they can do as you increase your fines. Again, it's not that we're not losing people in that position. We just can't get people up to that position, and there's no inventory of plant operators that are coming knocking at the door. There's everything to add.
Yeah, actually,
just want to clarify that we're not in trouble with the state, right? On an interim basis right now, they're allowing my signature to sign reports and for me to complete reports. It's just becoming overbearing on my position because we have a young staff. We do. We had, I want to say, poaching, right? City and County of San Francisco will take our employee. You know, they'll move on to more money, less responsibility, other places. So on an interim, I can do this, but I need guidance in that building 100% of the day while my young staff's down there. And, you know, the people who are running the water and wastewater treatment plant being guided by somebody who has the experience, right? That is what is really, really needed. I cannot support that every day. I go down every morning, talk to them, but I can't do it every day, all day long. They need that. The other thing too is it is quality. You do need a certified grade 3 operator. I am a grade 2, but just because I'm the operations manager that oversees that, I can sign stuff. But it's just the other problem that we're having though is that CPO oversees both water and wastewater. Are we going to get this from this? Maybe not, right? This is just, maybe we'll get a candidate out of this that will work. We'll do this for 6 months and then maybe hold this way. Hey, you know what? You're great people. I like the area. I will actually transition into full-time employee for you. Who knows? But we're trying to pick a wastewater operator and a treatment operator for the water side, which, and a lot of agencies don't have that. They're either one or the other. And if you're a grade 3 operator, like Pete said, sky's the limit. You could do this contract stuff. A lot of people do that. We used a contractor before, and you know, it was a couple hours here and there, it costs us a few $100. That same individual wanted to, you know, be $19,000 a month for 2 days, minimal time. You know, so it's just where we're at. But we're not in violation of anything. State knows the certification program, they always act, and it's all it states in there right now is actively recruiting. And they're constantly asking me where are we at. And I have talked to the state reps on the wastewater side. We're covered on the water side. You know, I still oversee the treatment part of that as well, do the monthly report, but I have the qualifications for that. So we're not hounded as much, even though our state rep there too goes, Lou, when is this going to happen? I'm like, I'm trying, right? It's hard. They understand it because you're looking at probably about 70% of water and wastewater agencies are going through the same problem. They cannot get certified applicants to apply. And a lot of people do not like responsibility of overseeing people as well. So they'll get the certification, stay where they're at, you know? So we are very, very remote. Little housing, less money than some of those agencies. You have to entice somebody with something, right? They want to relocate. We're just not getting it. And we have goal certified, which is a huge thing for us. I don't know. It's kind of where we're at.
Loosely speaking, how many hours a week is this going to?
Okay.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I was going to stay on that. Like, technically, a CPO position should be there quite often, right? And we're signing this, and the only reason we sign this is we get applicants from them saying, hey, these meet your qualifications. These meet your qualifications. So we get a pool submitted to us, and then we can pick. We might not even use it, right? We might just keep going the route that we're going, and we're still doing well, you know, and just keep recruiting. But we have to have an option and to see what they can offer. They can offer a certified person that might be a benefit to the district. But I'm not arguing.
I'm not arguing. I want to know
how
much it's likely to cost.
I would say at least 3 days a week, a minimum of 2 days a week.
So 20 to 30 or
$12,000 to $15,000 a month.
20 to 30 hours a week. I mean, we can't.
Yeah.
Also, don't want to grind you into the dust.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of important.
The one
There's no backup, right?
Yeah, my main thing is the development of that staff, right? There is some young staff that's very ambitious and they're taking their tests, they're passing their stuff, but if nobody's there
Still
to,
gotta have the hour.
if nobody's, yeah, and actually all of them, like, we have one OIT, which, like I said, talking to the certification department, I can oversee the OIT, but he has to have me or a grade 2 on the plant with him at all times, right? So you can't really have him out there because they're already doing water and wastewater. He's kind of just in limbo, but we do have our 2 certified and myself. There's 2 of us. But it's just I just need the development of those guys. And that's constant being with them and showing them stuff, and they have questions. That's a huge part of becoming a great operator.
I move to adopt resolution 17-3 authorizing her to enter into an agreement, contract chief and operators, services to ensure continued regulatory compliance, operational oversight, district's water and wastewater treatment.
I'll second that.
Moved by Dennis Grzechowski, by Bob Swan. Any comments? Comments from the board? Any comments from the public? Okay. All in favor?
I,
Opposed? This. Moving on to 6F. Option of resolutions abandoning the district's interest in and rights in a public utility easement assessment. APN 093-080-005.
Because I've been talking so much, asked Adam, possibly, or to come at this. It was right within his.
So it's really kind of a pretty simple one, I believe. There's this parcel that's referenced, it's out at the airport. It's where the old cafe used to be, for those that have been around for a minute. There's an old public utility easement that runs through that parcel that was only occupied by PG&E, or the development that the current property owner is wanting to do on it. He had paid PG&E to move their lines public utility easement into other existing easements. With that public utility easement is now vacant. But PUEs, public utility easements, cannot be vacated unless all interested parties relinquish their interest in it. Because it's a public one, we have an interest in it just by default. And so we have no utilities there. There's no plan to ever have utilities there. We already have utilities surrounding it. So there's literally just zero possibility or reason ever need that easement. So my recommendation is that we abandon our interest, or give up our interest in it, so that the property owner can move forward with the county. Any questions?
Yeah.
We've got, years ago, we didn't have a very strict policy about it. Where a lot of allegations that were going on, just a lot of things going on. There were easements, and the district had a habit in years past of, we didn't have something in it, we thought we didn't need it, we just relinquished it.
now we have a very conscious effort or interest in that. If we gotta go get an easement, it can be really costly. So that's why it comes to the board in a public setting. And I understand a fantastic job of getting like the patient together, but the citizen. We can drive. And when he makes a recommendation, I am confident. So I want to look forward to.
We'll move to adopt resolution 18-2026. And rates and public utility easement. EN 093-080-05.
I'll second that.
Right, so it's been moved by Nancy Mora. Seconded by Bob Attorney. Any comments from the board? Comments from the board, any comments from the public? Okay. Then I will call for the vote. In favor?
Aye.
Opposed? My eyes getting tired. Okay. Went on to G.
Thank you, fire.
Thanks, guys.
Of course, I just want to say, John, you said you were a firefighter at one point, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to take the moment, sir, just to make the statement of, we understand the climate right now and everything with this new assessment and all that. And I just want to let in a public setting, let you guys know, as you would understand, we're selfless servants. We serve the public. We take a lot of pride in that. So no matter what sort of feedback we're getting, just know that we're always going to be delivering 110% on behalf of the GCSD. I think speak on both of GCSD, Walnut County Fire Department, and also CAL FIRE. So we appreciate you guys' recognition and praise, but just want to let you guys, it's really appreciated, but it's not needed because regardless, we're going to show up and we're going to give you guys our best. So
Thank you. It's in your blood.
yes, sir.
Thank you.
Stay safe, guys. Thank you. Good one, guys. Okay. So we're on G.
We still have a member of the.
Soul survivor. Okay, here. Yeah. I think turn that on to the public. Not right now, I can't be. So discussion regarding the district's concerns and response to the low impact camping ordinance currently under consideration by county.
This just came back up on your agenda because we had, it was important to have discussion that felt like action or direction from the boards right back up. It's not, doesn't necessarily have to be belabored this meeting because staff at the county is still in the process of reading through county council comments and comments from a variety of interested special districts. Not been back to the board of supervisors discussion. They basically had a presentation at one meeting and told staff to get with it and figure out how to, at least move forward with some more information about it. And they have. Been working with Sean Henry at the county. He's just a very intelligent, very dedicated and articulate person. And he's trying to herd the cats together and make it all work. Because we've had meetings over Zoom to just talk about what ifs, how it impacts our, the conversion of these properties from would normally be a rural residential single meter connection and now a commercial enterprise in that they are selling spaces on their property and their water consumption going to increase and getting reclassified as commercial entities, and so that we can track their water differently for compliance with the new water conservation regulations. We're concerned about wastewater discharge, easement, bank encroachment, those kind of things. And like I talked about in the very beginning, integration of our processes with the county process can streamline this and actually make it work. We just have to speak the same language and, you know, get to the end where we know that if somebody submits an application, that we're going to get a call from them. We're going to have to comply with our requirements too. And that's going to be a condition of them getting a permit from the county to do meet the county's requirements for whatever that may be. So the only thing that's included in your packet is just that brief discussion in the agenda document. I included a copy of the assembly bill that changed the requirements. It used to be very cumbersome, time consuming, and expensive for properties to allow this to happen. They had to go through the state to do that. And the legislature has changed that, given kind of handed that off to the county. The county, you deal with it. You know, for certain size establishments, this is primarily Hip Camp is the one that triggered this thing. Yeah. And they're very successful. They're very successful at what they do. They're providing a great outdoor experience for a lot of people, families, but the county's speaking through right now how they can deal with it.
Can I ask a question? These property owners that are requesting this, how are they classified right now? Residential?
It's not property owners. Oh, if they're requesting it from the county, a permit to do it.
Thinking about that assessment.
Ultimately, right now, the county doesn't have. That's what's being developed. The language of that ordinance. For certain criteria to meet the points of this state law, but they're going to be rural residential, larger parcels, and based on the size of the parcels, will run the maximum number of places they can.
Things should think about this government. Change their classification from residential to commercial property, and then they have to. Sure.
We're probably going to have to deal with that in updated engineers report in the future. If, just based on what the demand impacts on services be, that's going to be something that, let's just say the assessment is approved, county ordinance comes through, and that is regulation then that we've adopted in 27, 28 or 26, 27, whatever. Then as they submit and get permitted from the county, what we're hoping to include in this with the county's process is that GCSD has a requirement. They got to put in a bigger meter, the sub meter for the units, or they have to convert to commercial or whatever, or that assessment would apply for a certain number of units. They, as a condition of their ongoing permit, they have to come to GCSD and submit the application. I mean, just as long as we're included in the process and that they're required to comply with our requirements too, and then it's up to this board, up to us to establish the requirements. And we have to do it. We would have the third-party consultant. There's industry standards on how these impact. It's like for commercial, industrial, institutional, schools and stuff. There's industry standards on how they impact general service, what demand they place on. I don't know if it's scheduled to come back to your board yet.
I'm not gonna stand, I'm getting old and tired. So two things. AB 518 is not law. It's law, but the county doesn't have to buy it. It's optional. So that's the first fork of the road. And secondly, the county has a fire committee, a fire safe committee, and we are recommending not to engage in this process. So as of right now, it is not coming back to has not been slated to come back to the board. However, if it does come back to the board, at least one committee is recommending we do not move forward with allowing this type of camping within our county.
Are you aware of any that are in the? I'm aware of two that are on East Cultural.
Well, Hip Camp is different, right? So right now, AB 518 just says that the county, as Pete kind of said, it kicked the can to us, right? The state said there's a camping area shortage and we want to give people opportunities to make money on their property, what have you. They didn't give us any funds to address fire concerns. They didn't contact any of the districts about water and things like that. So AB 518 is not, county doesn't have to do it. It's going to be optional. So with that being set aside, tip camp and things like that, or the county doesn't have a resolution or a policy handle currently. So if AB 518 doesn't go through, we still have to come up with a plan to address that. I think I answered your question, but I didn't answer your question. So we are aware of the 20 or 30 so tip camps spread throughout the county.
Because it seems like they just kind of popped up.
Well, it was one of those where if there's no law saying I can't do it, then I'm going to do it, right? Which is then starts that engine moving on. How do we want to address that? Obviously, from a completely greedy position, the county would love to have all of these because we collect TOT tax off of that, right? However, risk versus reward. The risk to the county having these little undocumented or unsupervised camping areas and its fire potential has a lot more damaging effects potentially than what we would recoup out of TOT. So
makes sense. I mean, when I saw them, it's like red flag went in my head. So our fire department's going to be responding to that down there. It's a county that's there.
Well, the county engine would go to that first, right? Right. So obviously that's our primary concern, because if it does become a bigger issue, then we would pull in mutual aid, which we don't want to do, right? We don't want to take your engine out of your area. But more importantly, there's one off of Phelan Morgan. There's one off of I think over by White's Gulch. There's a handful of them. Right?
They have camp.
Yeah. So there's a handful of them, and right now they're just laying under the radar. They're not. We don't have a concern, but it's kind of that issue of it's unregulated. The fire issue. The attorney's point. It wouldn't change the classification of their property to a commercial property because it's not a commercial outlet. It's like having an ADU on your property or something like that. So, unfortunately, this is another great example of the law of unintended consequences. The people in Sacramento said, "Hey, this is a great thing," and go, and they never consulted the more rural counties, which this will impact the most.
This is a perfect opportunity for us to collaborate with the county and we're dealing with common issues. So yeah, that was all it was just an update, no action.
With that being said, I think it should be something that your board consider taking an official position on. Does GCSD recognize AB 518 as a help or a hurt, and then take a position, because the county then can say, "Hey, look, we've reached out to our partners. This is, it's not just you. It's going to be Twainhart. It's going to be all of the other Strawberry districts and things like that." So the more organizations that say, "Hey, we recognize that you can do that," you also recognize maybe you shouldn't. So that might be something that you want to take an official position on as well.
I know PML has a rule in property, but if their county's good, it is.
They won't count it as an ADU unit. So this is just a regular. So there's very specific requirements that if you are going to do this, it has to be. You can't be near a water source. You can't be there. I mean, you have to have a water source. You're going to have a campfire. It has to be one campfire regardless. So I'll just use my property as an example. So I have 10 acres. I can have up to 5 individual campsites on those 10 acres. But it has to be one communal water source, one communal toiletry area, and one communal. And then if I do have a fire pit, so here's where it gets interesting. That's not to geek out on the fire side of it, but the law says that the county cannot say can't have a campfire on your property if you're using it for cooking or for warmth, right? So everyone's going to say, well, it's for warmth, right? So we all know that's for a campfire, right? We get that. So the county has to figure out how are we going to not violate the civil rights. And then if we were to move forward on the 518, right, how are we going to address that? But within 518, it specifically says, if you have a campsite on your property, you have to have somebody living on the property to observe it, right? Well, now we have another problem because a lot of properties are not owned by people up here, right? As you guys are very aware. So how do we work that? So there's a lot of things that are that will have to be hammered out. But I think this issue is, as Pete said, is addressing the water, obviously I have constituents on both sides of the fence line, right? Both inside VML or GCSD as well as outside. And the concern is the same, right? Fire doesn't care whether it starts inside GCSD sphere or outside. It's going to go wherever it's going to go. So very aware of this. There's been a lot of talk, but if this were to come before the board tomorrow, I would be a big no on that. So.
Okay.
I'd like to see GCSD take a stand on this because I had this next door to me on a vacant lot with no water and no sewer. And the woman kept saying, oh, my relatives are coming. They're going to hike up at Half Dome and whatever. They had 17 vehicles there, and not just a campfire. They would go smoking and walking down the road. I'd find cigarette butts, and it's like, if there's a fire, they don't have hydrants where I live. Okay. My place could go up in smoke, and if one place goes, they're all going to go. So I would really like to see GCSD take a stand on this because it would really help the community to give some sort of regulation. I mean, there was no water source. If there's a fire, am I going to take my hose and run down to the neighbor's property and put it out? It's crazy, and it could wipe out a good portion of Groveland if it's actually, in drought and dry in summer. This was going on in summer. People walking down the street smoking and these fires, I know they were cooking because I got pictures of it, got pictures of the website that advertised for it. So if you could, at some point, take a stand on it, it would be beneficial to everybody in the community for safety. I don't care if there's they want to be there with no fire, that's fine. But they're going to have fire. They're going to find a way to have fire. Then you wonder, is the fire out of control when you see all the smoke come up? It's very scary, very, very scary. So please consider that.
Steve, with what you just said, isn't what they're doing there illegal? It doesn't fit to this little norm because
There's no person there.
There's no.
Well, that would be if
water, no fire. Yeah. So
that would only if 518 were enacted. Right now, there's no county ordinance that says you can't let people camp on your property, right? There's no ordinance that says that, but it says that if you're going to do this, and to, Ms. Crow's point is that if you're going to have this, you have to have the fire guys have all left conveniently. The fire guys would probably tell you that you have to have a well, well, not even that, just water source. They have to be able to get the truck down, right? There has to be 100 feet, 100 X whatever. They'll tell you that, but it's really a bad legislation that was pushed down onto the counties without any thought, and we actually did kind of pump the brakes a little bit. We wanted to bring in the small districts and the districts that are going to be impacted, so we needed to get their input on this as well. The county could really, if we wanted to, meaning royally, say we're going to do this, you guys figure it out. But I don't believe that's a good way to do business. I think we want to make sure that we have you and your concerns and needs on board long before this discussion were even to be made. Unfortunately, Kay, as you know, you can't control people's behavior. People are going to smoke and do bad things.
I know.
I mean, 20 years of chasing taillights because people were doing bad things. So
I'm a good neighbor to my neighbors. I mean, it was flipped. I didn't know what to do. It's like,
they think you're
there's
crazy.
fire. Like I can look out my window and smoke and flames. And it's like, what are these people doing? No well. I mean, it wouldn't be so bad if they had a well so they could have their own house. But if that place goes up in smoke, my place and my neighbor's place, and there it goes right into town. So it'd be good. It would really be good if you had some kind of something in place that says they have to have a water source. Not bring in 5 gallons of water. Just to wash their hands or drink.
But I don't think
We have that authority. GCSD does not have that authority.
She's got some kind of authority because Steve was talking about it to take some kind of a stand.
Yeah, you can take a stand. I mean,
we can have a position and say we don't like this or we'd like this to be.
Supervisors can say, well, GCSD a stand, it would be more beneficial.
They're beating disasters here. I'm in favor of people having a chance to camp.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, our county is a little bit different as well because 93% of our county is owned by the federal government. So really it's not an issue for us because there is so much free opportunity for people to camp anywhere in the federal forest. You don't need. It really comes out of the coastal regions, that are trying, they don't have a lot of land that they can have people go camping on. So it's another red herring, right? Somebody at the now getting political, at Sacramento said this is a great idea and they rammed it down the 58 counties' throats.
The road to Greeley Hill, there's a small property that's got their home. And right where you would park your cars, they've got 3 travel trailers close to each other that they can't open the canopy all the way. Telling Mike about talking about it. How do they do their water? How do they do their bathrooms? See any of that public area?
You can contact the environmental health, contact the county, and they'll open up a case and see if they're illegally, because there is a county ordinance that says you can't camp in a trailer where I want to say it's more than 90 days. So if it's outside that, then get it on the radar. I mean, you guys are all fully aware it falls within your sphere of influence. We call it the watermelon guy, across from carved out all of that area over there on just west of Suburban Propane, right on the south side of the road. He's got all that out there. The guy had the watermelon for science, so we call him the watermelon guy. So basically he's got illegal camping down there, so we're working on that. I mean, it's just times are tight. Somebody said it earlier. There's just no place for people to live right now, and Louis hit it right on the head about you trying to recruit someone. The county is facing the exact same problems of. It's not an issue of more money. It's an issue of finding places to stay, and we're seeing that. So you can contact the county, or you can let me know what the address is, and I'll pass it on.
Mike.
Yes, I do.
He is still camping.
Hopefully that results.
I hope so. Every time I don't see him for a few days, maybe he overdid.
All right, let's move on. And that's
With that said,
We need to, we'll talk to or something.
Just put it on the agenda, but
Just a statement of position.
Yeah, I think just a statement of position would just so, because that's another tool in our toolbox that when we have to make a determination, we want to be able to say that we're representing everybody equally, and this is an easy way for me to support that.
all right, moving on to H. The light at the end of the tunnel. Discussion of transition to in-house social media.
okay. This one's a little bittersweet. We have had Ronnie Lynn with us since 2019, so quite a few years, and we brought her on during a time when social media started becoming something that special districts were getting into. They needed to get into to be able. It was a way to communicate, to get the good messaging out there, get the good projects out there, but to also allow for us to address certain things within the community that we didn't have the opportunity to. Or, you'd have something come up, get a Union Democrat article, and there'd be nothing that the district could really do to counter any of that. When she came on, like John, I don't have social media accounts. I have a next door that I kind of keep track on, but that's it. And so there wasn't a lot of people that knew a very professional way of how we create and build a social media program in the district. And Ronnie helped us do that. She, it was baby steps. We started small. It has developed and evolved tremendously throughout the years. She's done an excellent job. I think we can have felt the impact of actually being able to have a social media presence out there where we didn't before. It was always the intention to transition this in-house if it was possible or feasible. At the time we did this, we didn't know if it was going to be feasible. And over the years of getting this established, we feel comfortable in it. We brought in an individual, our last hire at the district for the administration department, Andrea. She had a background. She worked for Resorts. She had a background in public relations, social media stuff. And one of the things when we brought her in was thinking that she was possibly going to be able to fill that role that we had planned to bring in-house anyways. So she's been in-house, we've been kind of doing the transition back and forth, seeing how it's gonna work. Is it capable? Is the workload with Amber being back now and being staffed? Is it feasible? And we've discussed it a lot internally. We have admin meetings once every 2 weeks. So we definitely don't want to hurt social media, or we don't want it to lack anything. And with this, we really feel like having it in the house is going to streamline it a bit because, lots changed. Ronnie doesn't live here anymore. Andrea, she's out in the field. The guys have a break. She's taking videos of them. She's at the fire department. We can communicate the messaging right then and there than trying to send a message to Ronnie, who may or may not be available when we need to get information out there. So it's been working pretty well. Andrea is incredible. She's been working with Ronnie. They've been working together, and she's just brought, a whole thing with her youth and her experience that none of us have. And it's been really, really impressive to watch her and to see the kind of knowledge that she has for things that we never even knew that you could do with social media. Like you can have things scheduled ahead of time and completely prepared, and then you don't, it'll automatically post it, and then she can track all of the, who's watching it and when, and it's just insane. So Pete and I, we had a conversation with Ronnie, who is online joining us about this, because the contract for Ronnie Lynn is up at the end of June. And she felt the same with us. She felt like it was time, bittersweet, but she's off the hill now. She's a grandma, and she realizes that, that Andrea is very capable of doing it. And so I don't know if anybody wants to add anything, but that's where we are now. We're ready to transition. We're keeping Ronnie in through the end of June for that overlap. And then once that is done, we will be doing all of the social media.
I think Ronnie helped us in a time pretty much forced to get somebody to help us because we were lacking. Definitely.
Once again, say that my initial skepticism turned out to be correct.
More time.
We're glad that it was. Yeah.
That's happened.
Well, just stop and think 2019 to now, social media is like a completely different animal. So it's,
I wouldn't know.
we could have never. You can just trust us, it is.
I just trust.
Very, very seldom do people from just the community reach out to me and talk to me about something. Kate has a couple times and others, but my most common thing is thanking her.
Buddy, how many times did we have conversations on the weekends and evenings and anytime she would be reaching out to me because she had exhausted herself trying to get a hold of Louis or Andy or somebody in the field because they're out in the middle of it trying to solve a problem. And she's dying to get the news story on it, and I think this is an opportunity to move people around and be able to do it internally. We've had so many good conversations, and I've spent I would say, what the heck is this? Why is this going this way? And we work through things to the nth degree, and off she goes. It's so level of experience and she put into it, and passion. Having deep roots in this community, she loves it. She's going to watch us or probably judge us.
Yeah, you guys are going to have a hard time getting rid of me. I'm going to be watching from the sidelines. And I just want to speak to the hiring of Andrea. You guys, she's a rock star. She knows so much more than I do. And like Janice said, it's evolved so much. And as an independent contractor, I have my little irons and lots of fires. And it's been wonderful to be able to have the role because of remote work. That's been great. But the district's going to be far better served with somebody sitting in that office. And I think it's great. I've enjoyed doing this, but the time has come.
You've enjoyed it. Sure, it's been awesome. Thank you.
Thank you guys. I was trying to show my video so you guys could see one of the biggest reasons why, but it's not working right. So then I just stopped it. But I'm sitting here holding my 4-month-old granddaughter. My youngest daughter just graduated. Well, she's almost done. She graduates at 26. I've been helping her get her BA. So I've been in meetings with grandkids on my lap, and Andrea's right there in the office, like at work. So it's great. It's going to be a good thing. And to see how far this district has come is inspiring. I mean, just shows that when a group of dedicated people come together with intention, they make real change. And you guys are amazing. So keep it up.
I can attest to the grandkids because they really take over your life in a great way.
Hey, dude, this is number 10. So I've been busy since I left Groveland, guys. Well, the girls have actually. The kids have been busy.
We'll miss you, Ronnie. I'll miss texting you Friday at 3 p.m. with a panic water break.
Well, you can always text me, Megan. You guys have all been great to work with, and I'm still gonna keep my eyes open because I'm invested up there. I mean, my aunt and uncle still live there, and Ferretti Road was named for my great great uncle. Yeah, my great grandfather was Giuseppe. There's a little landmark for him in Moccasin, and so Groveland's important to me. It always will be.
Awesome.
You're welcome to come and visit anytime you're not doing.
Thank you.
Or at least that cute little violet.
Yeah.
One.
Honey, thank love to work with instructions, Jim.
Thank you.
Really raised the bar, and I think out of it.
Thanks so much.
Share your experiences here with other potential clients if you so choose.
I'm sorry I didn't hear that last bit.
I'm just saying, feel free to share your successes here. I use the district as a model of success with future clients if you so choose.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, Pete. That means a lot. Thanks.
5 grandkids. I have to teach. Awesome.
There's no action
Well,
on this item. It's just bring everybody up to speed.
Thank you.
Awesome. Jim, before you adjourn, I have a special request from the public, specifically for you. So I didn't, is that okay to do that? So I had 2 members of the public specifically wanted to know, and they asked me to ask you publicly in the group here, or so if they're watching. Is it possible that you can have your next board meeting in May, which is going to be the day before your next public meeting, June? In June, thank you. The next public meeting before you're here, before your town hall regarding the ballots. You have your board meeting the same night of, would start at like at 4 p.m. for your board meeting, and then roll into your town hall for your assessment. So I've done my job. I'll let you discuss that. So I will.
You guys have to have dinner.
Wait, you're saying have our regular board meeting and then transition to the community meeting?
That was the request.
We can't, I mean, a regular meeting is set by.
It would be a special meeting.
Be a special meeting.
And the reason why is because there's a lot of people that are interested, as it was brought up earlier, that want to be a part of this process. They can't come to your board meetings because of either work or other conflicts. So the question was, could they combine them? I've relayed that message to the board chair. I will let you discuss it.
I have a related director comment, actually. It's just pursuant to board meetings and agenda. They have received suggestions that a lot of times what members of the public are interested in is the stuff we're voting on. They're not necessarily terribly interested in status of projects. They should be, but they're not. Could we consider figuring out where we could have the agenda organized such that, I mean, we do this at SDRMA all the time where we have fixed time things because it's coming, sort of stuff. Either put the voting bits ahead of the reports or put a time someplace where we're going to say, okay, now we're going to suspend whatever else we're doing. And we're going to go on to section. It is where the, can we think about that? I understand that it's
Take that back, but we've got a very specific policy that outlines that, in the order of the agenda, all that, I don't, in a policy manual, should bring that policy back.
Well, I'm bringing this up now as I don't have a proposal. I'm asking for staff to think about how that might work and then come back with. Or if you think that there's a reasonable way to, I think it's fair to say a lot of times, you know, we are interested in the nuts and bolts of some things a lot more than members of the public are. Trying to sit through an unknown number of hours of listening to other stuff that you're interested in. I think that's a fair thing we mentioned nowadays.
All I'm saying is just that. Out the staff recommendation on the agenda, so just to discuss that policy.
Okay, well, let's start with put that on the agenda so we can talk. Yes, I.
Stop making overtime. Lunchtime.
Just a second.
Thanks.
Hold on
Just
one
a
second.
second.
Okay.
So if they wanted, is the actual board meeting before that? Because I mean,
Well, what they really wanted was the board, what they really wanted was to have the board present so they could ask, so the public could ask questions regarding the assessment in the town hall and some other GCSD items, related items. However, as I explained to them that this meeting is not for that meeting and those are separate items, and because of what you talked about earlier, avocation and things like that, suggestion was, well, at this one time, could they combine them? So they would like to be a part of this. This is, as Bob said, it's a very, this is a very important topic to the community. And having your board meeting and then rolling directly into that was what they thought would be a great way to engage the people who are not here now, but that are online, making their comments accordingly. So like I said, I will bring it up. I don't have any juice there, but you don't need to talk about it now. You can kick it around. I'm sorry?
They would have had to.
No, because the ballots aren't due until July 8th. So anyway, I was asked to do that. I've done it. You guys can adjourn and kick it around as accordingly.
The intent just to have the board available at the community meeting.
Well, I think as you know, people want the meetings at night. We're on the weekends, right? That's what they want. No one ever shows up. I mean, we've had it, right? I know that, right? I argued the other side just so I'm not coming at you from one angle. So, but I think in this case, that was like tonight, like this week is a perfect week. You're going to have your board meeting today. You're going to have your town hall tomorrow. Next month, same thing. You have your board meeting, you have your town hall. So the question was, can they combine them for that one day? So people who might want to actually come to a GCSD board meeting, you can make your agenda however you wish to make it. They could have their opportunity to come to a board meeting, hear you, and then you could roll right into your presentation for the assessment. 2 birds, 1 stone.
It would have to be a special meeting.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can't move the regular. We would have to have an extra, which we could do.
No, it was like I said, it was feedback from the community. I made my.
I mean, I think that folks, all it's really going to end up being is that you're going to have people complaining, making statements to the board because we can't take action on anything. It's not already agendized.
My one little hiccup with it is we never know how long this meeting is going to last, because it's just,
but that's the beauty of a special meeting. That's what the county does, right? We say, okay, wherever we are in our agenda at 10 a.m., we're going to take this item. And as the chair, I try to hit that up, right? And yesterday completely went off the rails. So I feel your pain. So getting out now is a lot better than what I did yesterday. So I'm right there with you.
But yeah, like if it was at 4:00 and then we had to stop and then we'd have to do the other one. Then we're going to be sitting there till midnight. If it's
I explained the pros and the cons. They just said, hey, you do this. I've done it.
We did a special meeting. The only purpose of the special meeting to entertain public comment on
or whatever you want to share at that time.
I mean,
We can do that.
we could consider specialty.
Cancel the regular meeting that you had scheduled and have the special meeting, you have both.
This meeting is gonna
We have
have
other things to do in the regular,
Got it.
really don't want
I
to sit
know.
there through all the other stuff.
No, I know. No,
This
I know.
is always on Wednesday at time. Steve?
Make my statement, Janice?
Yes.
Thank you. I want everyone to understand, there's so much going on in this community. People want to come to the meetings. There's a lot of people that work, just retired people. A lot of people work. And thank you, Director Swan, for bringing that up because people have said to me, they can't not go to work and not know how long they come for action items. They really do. They don't know from the reports. They don't know what Louis is doing. They don't even know there's a Louis. That's the sad thing about it. Thank you, Louis. You're great. But anyhow,
Got the wrong.
but the bottom line is they would come for your action items. And then if you did reports after, they'd be gone. You could talk as long as you want, but they're sitting through this. They have to take off work. And they say it's not worth it. It would be a good test to see if you change the agenda, for a while, 6 months or something, jiggle it around. So the things that they see that they want to talk about, they could come and talk about and leave. It would bring the community back together to the district. Because right now it's like this and it's like, it should be like this. It should be, come on, people, come on to our meeting. We'll try it for you. If it doesn't work, you can always change it. But it would be a good move to try and get more positive feedback from everybody in this community. That's my take on it, because it's hard for me to sit through all these reports. It is. It's just for me to sit, period. Plan reports.
CML has their board meeting on a weekend and
No, it doesn't matter. You can have it on the day that you want it. It's just by putting the action items at the top so they can put their 2 cents in and then leave.
Or at a fixed time. The key thing is to say we're going to do the action. I mean, what addresses that issue is either at the beginning of the meeting or at some point in.
Right.
Stop and do the action items at that point. So that people, I'm sympathetic to that idea.
Right. Some
I don't
people
know.
might have to go to work and leave work to come to the meeting. If you had it first thing in the morning, they could just go in a little bit later.
I do want to say though, I have to bring this up. We did do that. You were the one who didn't like it because you said you had to sit around for too long and you wanted to know what staff was going to report because it wasn't an agendized. And so you wanted us to move them to the beginning.
No, I wanted the voting stuff at the beginning, what's on the agenda, so you.
I understand that. We used to have it that way.
Yes, we used to have it that way. That's good.
Okay. We will have it on. So discussing the agenda to discuss. Okay, maybe staff recommendation.
Okay. 12:30 to 12:35.
Think-
You did say